taste the anticipation. Aston Villa are 7 points adrift of safety. This their game in hand. The phrase must win can be used too often, but Michael Brown, no two ways about it. We can use it here. This is a must win for Dean Smith and his men.
Well, it's a must win game. It's talk about pressure. You watch the games come in the day before and the table doesn't look great, so it's really going to be a huge game for them.
And before kick-off, we will take a minute to remember one of the game's true greats, Jack Charlton, World Cup winner with England, legendary manager of the Republic of Ireland, who passed away on Friday, aged 85. Jack Charlton, a giant of the game. He will be sorely missed. Aston Villa and Crystal Palace about to kick off, but we can head to the cricket final day of the first test with the West Indies before we kick off here at Villa Park and Eleanor Oldroyd.
And Ben Stokes is just bringing himself on to bowl for the first time in this West Indies second innings. West Indies have had a pretty good afternoon so far since lunch, 66 for 3, so they've moved on. They've added 31 since the lunch interval. The target is 200. England probably still favourites, but West Indies certainly have the batsmen who could chase these runs down, not least of them Chase himself. He's on 26, Blackwood is on 17. 66 for 3, chasing 200.
Thanks, Eleanor. We're here at Villa Park. We are underway in this huge match for Aston Villa. Underway after, as expected, the players again took the knee for Black Lives Matter, and the eye was drawn to Wilfried Zaha of Crystal Palace, who knelt with his hands on his hips on the halfway line. He retweeted some shocking racist abuse that he'd received this morning. Aston Villa have released a very strong statement condemning that, and as Villa win the ball in the centre of midfield and win a free kick with John McGinn on the edge of the centre circle. Michael Brown, it is so disappointing and so shocking that this message just needs to keep being repeated. It shouldn't have to be.
It's shocking. It's got to keep being repeated. You can see now all around the world watching these pictures come in. We've got to keep getting that message across.
So Aston Villa in possession, ball into the penalty area. It's well claimed by Vicente Guaita. We will take you through the two sides in a moment, but we can head to a goal in the Championship. Stoke against Birmingham. Sohail Sahi.
Stoke 2, Birmingham 0, Vicky. Sam Clucas right on the stroke of half-time has doubled the lead for the home side. A fine finish inside the penalty area, right-footed. It was rising all the time. Stoke 2, Birmingham 0.
Thanks, Sohail. So here at Villa Park, it is crunch time for Aston Villa. Crystal Palace in possession, approaching the Villa penalty area, playing in the changed away strip. The white top with the red and blue diagonal stripe across the front, the white shorts and the white sock. Villa in their traditional claret and blue tops, the white shorts and the white and blue socks. Here are Crystal Palace in possession. Forward towards Wilfried Zaha, edge of the Aston Villa penalty area, pulls it back to Luka Milivojevic, ball into the box, looking for Christian Benteke, the former Villa man, and it goes behind for an Aston Villa goal kick. So we can take you through the teams. Two changes for Aston Villa, one enforced after Courtney Hawes pulled up in the warm-up. Ahmed El Mohammadi has come in for him. He plays in front of Rayner in goal. The rest of the back four, Konsa, Mings and Taylor. Horahan, the other change, coming in for El Ghazi, Louise, McGinn and Trezeguet in midfield, with Grealish behind Samatta up front as Villa clear the ball away from their own penalty area. And Crystal Palace have Guaita in goal, a back four of Ward, Dan, Sacco. Their one change coming in for the injured Gary Cahill and Van Aanholt. Koyate, Milivojevic and MacArthur in midfield with Zaha, And Ayew and Benteke, the former Villa players up front. Here come Aston Villa though, driving towards the penalty area with Grealish. The shot driven in by Horahan is deflected and goes behind for an Aston Villa corner. And Michael Brown, Aston Villa in recent matches have started well, but they have to start taking advantage when they have these periods of possession. And after a bright start from Crystal Palace, 3 minutes in, Villa have their first opportunity.
Yes, they have had that opportunity, worked very, very well. Horahan down this left-hand side, as to give it into Grealish. That's where he wants it, coming off that line, trying to attack right through the middle of Crystal Palace. He lays it wide. Horahan gets the return, but off to a corner kick.
Swings it into the penalty area. It's a good punch by Guaita, all in bright yellow. Away for Crystal Palace. And Trezeguet goes down over on that far side. Aston Villa win a free kick. 35 yards or so out on that far right-hand side. Good pressure this from Villa early on.
Well, this is the opportunity now. They've got some quality on the ball. Jack Grealish is going under the ball now. It's always about the quality, the delivery from wide areas. Don't waste these chances.
A win for Aston Villa today will give them hope again in their relegation battle. Anything else and they will be teetering on the very brink. What can they do from this set piece? Grealish is there as an option. Plenty of claret and blue shirts in the penalty area, but it's a poor delivery from Grealish. Cleared away on the edge of the box by Crystal Palace. Spread over to this left-hand side now, and back with Neil Taylor midway through the Crystal Palace half. Plays it forward to Trezeguet. He's well pressured by Joel Ward and forced all the way back to the halfway line. And Douglas Luiz. Aston Villa 0, Crystal Palace 0 here on 5 Live. 4 minutes gone in this first half as John McGinn will chase that ball down the left-hand side. Won't reach it. And it's behind for a Crystal Palace goal kick.
Aston Villa now obviously trying to force passes. They had good possession. Douglas Luiz, it's a great run down the left hand side from Taylor, but it just ran right out. You're not going to leave Joel Ward, the right back from Crystal Palace there on the turn. But a good positive start from Aston Villa. They wanted to be in Crystal Palace's half and to put a little bit of pressure on so far.
So Crystal Palace goal kick. It is half time in the Championship between Swansea and Leeds. Michelle Owen.
Yes, Vicky, it's Swansea 0, Leeds 0. I'll be honest, not the most scintillating of first halves, but it has been tough going for Leeds. They've been giving away a lot of fouls, very stop-start, which meant the game hasn't really got a flow so far. Keith Stroud given the free kicks in Swansea's favour. They have had a few in good positions, but they've not made the most of them. Going the other way, Leeds have had more possession. Their best chance came to Patrick Bamford, their striker. A through ball came off the back of the Swansea defender, but he was alert and he managed to hook it goalward, but it was a good save. It just stung the palms of Freddie Woodman in the Swansea goal. So it's not the best game, but it is interesting. So I'm looking forward to a second half. I think he'll get going. I think Marcelo Bielsa will have lots to say to his players at half-time. 0-0.
Yes, Leeds, as things stand, they're moving 4 points clear of Brentford in the playoff places in the Championship. Crystal Palace have a throw deep in Aston Villa territory, so we can head to a game with big significance at the bottom of the table in the Championship. Stoke against Birmingham. Half-time to Sahil Sahi.
Yeah, very much so, Vicky. Half-time is Stoke much the better side, and they lead by 2-0. The first goal after 12 minutes, Nick Powell's cross converted by a scrambling Danny Barr 3 yards away, with the second right on half-time. Sam Klukas with a lovely strike just inside the area. Stoke much the better side, and they lead Birmingham by 2-0.
Thanks to Hale here at Villa Park in this huge game for Aston Villa. He's goalless with Crystal Palace, but Crystal Palace winning a free kick in a dangerous position right down by the byline. And Luka Milivojevic stands over it. Plenty of white Palace shirts in the Villa penalty area. Tyrone Mings with his arms outstretched at the back for Villa, just directing the defence. As Milivojevic will swing the delivery in. It's a good one, and the header is looping up, and it's in. An Aston Villa appeal, but Crystal Palace take the lead.
Oh, what a blow for Aston Villa. It's just a loop ball in from Milivojevic right in front of the goalkeeper. No one really comes to claim, and I'm not sure if it's Saka who gets the goal. Just looking now to see who that is. But just loops into the net. It's always strange. Is it a goal? Is it not? With no atmosphere. But it's a lead for Crystal Palace, but we've just got a VAR check now.
Yes, VAR are checking this. It comes off Saka's shoulder blade, as it were, so it's almost off his back and off his shoulder. Leaps highest. They're checking for a possible handball. I mean, that would be incredibly harsh, surely, Michael Brown.
It's looking like to me, but I've questioned VAR in the past and got this wrong. It looks like it's the back of the shoulder blade, and at that point you would imagine it's going to be goal given.
Well, you can see Sacco, he's tapping his shoulder. He's saying this is what it came off. Well, we have seen so many controversial VAR decisions. They are having a real look at this. They're slowing it down in the centre of the centre circle. Martin Atkinson, the referee, is in conversation with Horahan as we still wait.
Look at Rayner. He's come all the way from his goal line right towards the centre circle. You don't often see that while this check's going on. He's not happy about something, but we still wait now for the possible outcome from this.
And they're still looking at replays, and this is the question with VAR, isn't it, Michael Brown? So many people say there should be a time limit, 30 seconds. If you don't think it's a clear and obvious error, you stick with the on-field decision.
Oh, he's not give it.
Well, that, I think, is an incredibly harsh decision for Crystal Palace. Mamadou Sakho's goal ruled out for a handball, and it strikes him. We're seeing another replay on the big screen. Now, what I will say is we have seen some decisions given by VAR. You think back to Bournemouth at Burnley, those two controversial handball decisions that led to a goal being ruled out. But I think that is so harsh. That is so harsh.
Well, I'm lost for words. You know, it's off the sort of, but his head's right next to the ball as it's on the back of his shoulder blade. And as I said, at that point, obviously the rule book's going to have come out to see what part, how far's the arm was the shoulder blade. Is it your shoulder? Is it what muscle counts? It's a very, very strange decision yet again.
So it remains 0-0. 9 minutes gone. Crystal Palace win a free kick just inside their own half. MacArthur going down. Now, what will change next season is when IFAB bring in the new laws for 2021. They have defined clearly what that line is, as you say, Michael Brown, that we're all discussing, between the shoulder and the arm, and they're saying it's essentially the t-shirt line. What I think might happen is people might start wearing longer t-shirts, but anyway, they are at least going to have a line, as it were, to say this is where the handball is, and it's a lot lower than what we've just seen that Sacco goal disallowed for.
I just don't know how it can't be given. Now, I understand the rule, but it's so high up. When everybody sees this, will realise what I'm actually saying is his head's close to the ball. It's a huge let-off for Aston Villa, this is. And you know it's difficult, and the amount of time that it took, so many checks. Again, we are seeing something different, a new challenge for VAR, but we've got real experienced officials today. Martin Atkinson, our VAR is John Moss, so we're in really good hands on the officials today, and it's hard to question those two are normally extremely good referees.
More VAR controversy for you to get involved in discussing. I'm sure so many people will be having their say on that as James MacArthur just gets back up to his feet. Aston Villa may point to their own very questionable VAR decision in the last match against Manchester United. They say they're even out over a season. I'm not sure that will be any comfort to Crystal Palace, but perhaps Dean Smith might just say thank you very much, I'll take that one. And it remains somehow 0-0. 11 minutes gone here at Villa Park. And Dan will send the free kick forward for Crystal Palace to the edge of the area, flicked on towards Jordan Ayew. Can't bring it under his control, and Pepe Reina will retrieve that ball for an Aston Villa goal kick.
Just watching all the benches now come to terms with what's just happened, a surreal situation. Hopefully now we can see some football again, move the ball around and try and get some quality in this game.
Villa send it forward, headed away by Patrick Van Aanholt. Will be a throw to Aston Villa on that far side. Remember, in this feast of football that we have for you on Sunday here on 5 Live, the North London derby commentary coming up from 4:30, and at 7 o'clock a huge game at the top and the bottom, Bournemouth against Leicester. Do stay with us as Aston Villa have the ball in the centre circle. 0-0 with Crystal Palace, given away though by Douglas Luiz. Ward hurdles the challenge of Luiz, who was coming flying back in trying to win that, and Kouyate has it for Palace. Luiz then does win the ball back, but illegally, deems referee Martin Atkinson. Dean Smith has his hands on his head, and Crystal Palace have a free kick.
He sort of did something strange there, Dean Smith, with frustration. His whole body like did the caterpillar as his hands were behind his head. He was just frustrated, obviously trying to get the best out of his team, but just looking at the setup of the teams now, both set up in a 4-3-3 formation. We've seen Wilfried Zaha come out onto the right-hand side, Jordan Ayew on the left. Both made progressive runs inside for Crystal Palace, inside the fullbacks of Aston Villa. We normally see them coming round the outside, one-on-one situations, where Wilfried Zaha especially. It's a slightly different setup from Crystal Palace.
Free kick to Crystal Palace. Handball from Samatta. And Dan will send it over the halfway line. Again, looking for Jordan Ayew, headed away by Tyrone Mings for Aston Villa. And now here is Grealish on the ball. Mings outside his own penalty area, long over the halfway line. Samatta will chase this. Dan is underneath it for Palace. It's picked up by Horahan. And Ward was challenging with him. Horahan wants a free kick, won't get it. Ward sends it all the way back to Guaita, who lifts it up just into the Aston Villa half. Headed away by Neil Taylor, picked up by Grealish, but he's given the ball away. Zaha then is caught slightly late by Taylor, doesn't get the free kick, but Crystal Palace do get the throw 0-0.
I don't know if you've just seen that there, Vicky, below us. Taylor went tight on Zaha and he's caught him on the ankle, and he's gone back and he said, get on with it. And Wilfried Zaha's gone, OK, we'll see in a minute type thing. We'll see what you've got. So a great little one for us to keep an eye on just below us.
Absolutely. Wilfried Zaha very up for this today, but it's Villa in possession, approaching the Palace penalty area. Grealish down to the byline, pulls the ball across, and it's cleared away by Sakho, out for an Aston Villa throw. Sakho, who thought he'd given Palace the lead early on before it was ruled out for that very questionable VAR handball decision, and that is why at Villa Park, in this huge game for Aston Villa, it is still goalless. Villa in the ascendancy at the moment. Neil Taylor with the throw. Little flick back from Grealish. Taylor in field. Horahan's touch though runs away from him. Douglas Luiz picks it up though on the left hand side, wins a free kick just outside the penalty area, just about level with the edge of the penalty spot for Aston Villa. And that's one of those, Michael Brown, with Douglas Luiz. He's falling and he's already decided what Martin Atkinson's going to do, because he just grabs it as he falls.
Well, you can't normally fool Martin Atkinson. He did make the most of it, but there was contact. He didn't need to do that. I think he would have got the free kick anyway, but it's a good opportunity. Similar situation from the one that Jack Grealish wasted before. Wide free kick, this time from the left hand side. Yes,
can Horahan provide a better delivery for Aston Villa this time? 0-0 with Crystal Palace. It is a better delivery. It was swung in low towards Grealish. He tried to flick it goalwards on the edge of the 6-yard box, and Crystal Palace clear away. It's all the way back with Pepe Reina, all in black for Aston Villa, winning that battle with Orshan Neeland at the moment to be Aston Villa's number one for these final vital few games of their season. Crystal Palace pick up possession in the midfield. It's forward to MacArthur, lovely layoff to Zaha, approaching the penalty area, right hand side. Zaha's delivery is scooped and it's long, and Van Aanholt will chase and will catch it because it's gone out of play, and that's a poor delivery from Zaha, and Villa have a throw on the far side.
Vicky, scooped and long. You've been very, very kind to Wilfried Zaha there. I think he owes you a nice something. He was a real poor quality sort of crossfield ball. Not sure what it was, out of play the far side, but we normally see much better quality from Wilfried Zaha.
So 0-0, Aston Villa just about hold on to possession. That was good pressuring from Palace, but McGinn did well, and now Taylor has it over the halfway line, sends it forward looking for Grealish, edge of the box, will check and down to the byline, swings it in, and it's easy for Guaita. But Grealish looking lively, and Aston Villa need him to. Well, the last two opportunities for Aston Villa were down the left hand side. Grealish gets in good positions. His first touch was excellent actually. Joe Ward really tight. He went to check back and flicked it back on his left yet again, but Crystal Palace are defending very, very well across the front post and making it hard on those deliveries. 16 minutes played at Villa Park. Aston Villa 0, Crystal Palace 0. Earlier today, Wolves with a very comfortable 3-0 win over Everton. North London derby, and Bournemouth against Leicester later this evening, still to come here on 5 Live's Premier League Sunday. Here is Milivojevic for Crystal Palace, and that's a poor ball from the Palace skipper, straight out of play for an Aston Villa throw, and we can go for an update at the cricket. Eleanor Oldroyd.
77 for 3, the West Indies now. They're chasing 200 to beat England, and it's starting to turn towards the West Indies now. Really useful partnership between Roston Chase and Jermaine Blackwood. Blackwood's been dropped a couple of times. Ben Stokes at gully, and then Joss Butler just dropping a catch off Ben Stokes in the last over. We've got Jofra Archer back on again. He may turn things round, but West Indies getting back into this. 78 for 3, chasing 200 to win.
Thanks, Ellie. And commentary continues with Test Match Special on 5 Live Sports Extra. Aston Villa win a free kick, a third of the way inside the Crystal Palace half. 0-0. Remember, this is essentially just about win or bust for Aston Villa. They wouldn't mathematically be down with anything else, but it would be a huge Everest of a mountain to climb. A win would take them to within 4 points of safety with 3 games to go. Villa play the free kick short. Now we'll swing it into the Palace penalty area, and Guaita comes well and claims well. He's had an impressive season for Crystal Palace, Vicente Guaita.
Yeah, a couple of goals recently. He probably could have done a little bit better. He'll probably look at those himself and say, he rightly so, probably could have done better.
Lovely flick this at the other end for Crystal Palace for Benteke to chase. Sliding challenge was a vital one in the penalty area just as he was about to pull the trigger, and Crystal Palace have a throw. That could have been a lot worse, Michael Brown.
It could have been just as he got in his stride. It was great defending from the left full-back of Aston Villa, coming across and just sliding the ball away. Great defending, great covering.
Crystal Palace still keeping up the pressure though. 0-0 with Aston Villa, but they lose the ball down by the corner flag, and Villa will clear away. Ali Samatta has come midway into his own half to try and win that back, and he hasn't managed to prevent the Crystal Palace throw.
Just down to our right hand side, Vicky, you've got Dean Smith, John Terry, assistant manager Richard O'Kelly, all patrolling. You normally see them at pitch side, but actually they're at another level, and then players will still hear those voices. They'll still be aware, and now they know if they look at the shoulder, they've got a much better view on them.
And I tell you what, I learnt this from Conor McNamara, they can hear us, so we better be a little bit careful, Michael Brown, as Crystal Palace can't make anything from that throw, and Tyrone Mings clears away from just outside his own 6-yard box. Guaita races out of his penalty area, and that's a lovely driven ball out to Sacco under a little bit of pressure from Samatta, and Crystal Palace will play it forward. Well anticipated by Taylor though, cuts it out just inside the Aston Villa half, and here goes Jack Grealish, lays it off to Hurahan, left hand side of the penalty area, first time ball in just over the head of Samatta, missed by McGinn who was coming in as well, and Crystal Palace will clear away.
And fantastic opportunity down the left. They've got to get a couple of more bodies in the box to trouble Crystal Palace. Almost got away there.
And Crystal Palace will counter. Zaha out to the right hand side, and Ayew taking on Taylor into the penalty area. A couple of step overs. Ayew then drags it back by the byline, sends it out to the edge of the D. When Milivojevic is waiting, he just dinks it in. It's brought down by Benteke, and now MacArthur. They can't get it away, Aston Villa. And Crystal Palace can't fashion the room for the shot, and now Villa will try and break. Racing forward, here comes Trezeguet, well stopped by Milivojevic just inside the Villa half. Trezeguet will try and win it back. He's pressuring Kouyate, he's fouled Kouyate. Palace free kick. Good contest this.
I was just going to say, real entertaining, couple of minutes, both sides getting up and back. That's what we want to see. Real exciting game if we can. I think Martin Atkinson didn't want to stop it there, but he had no choice as Kouyate was being pulled back.
0-0. Almost 21 minutes played here in the sunshine at Villa Park. This feels more like a July day. We've had some rotten weather recently. This is more like it. Summer football. Patrick Van Aanholt is swinging into the edge of the penalty area. Headed on by Scott Dan. Headed away by Aston Villa. But Palace will come again down this right-hand side. Here is James MacArthur. Low ball driven in to the edge of the box, rather aimless, and intercepted by Grealish. He will try and set Samatta away. Samatta racing to reach that ball down the left-hand side, and Ward slides in, is equal to it, and Villa have a throw level with the edge of the Palace penalty area.
It was a good race, wasn't it? Joel Ward and Samatta. You can see the determination on Joel Ward. I played with him at Portsmouth as a young player coming through. What full credit to him, what an athlete, what a professional guy he is, never gives up, and you could see there he was not going to be beat to that.
0-0. Villa with the throw. Taylor takes it. Grealish will pick it up, forced away from the penalty area though by MacArthur, out to Al Mohammadi, and then Trezeguet takes a tumble under the challenge of Van Aanholt, who spreads his hands, but the free kick is Aston Villa's.
I'm not sure what he was doing there, and the ball had gone wide, whether he got too tight, whether he'd slipped. Just trying to see the replay back. I think he just lost his footing actually. He did catch him, but once the assistant referee puts the flag up, it's so difficult in that situation for Martin Atkinson. to actually to not give it.
And he has given it, and he's given Villa a good opportunity, just a few yards up from that right-hand corner of the penalty area. Plenty of bodies in there for Aston Villa. Conter is up, Mings as well, and the delivery is a fierce one, but straight into the arms of Guaita at his near post. And it remains Aston Villa 0, Crystal Palace 0 here on 5 Live. Zaha spinning, trying to keep that in. Won't be able to keep it in as Roy Hodgson watches on. And Aston Villa have a throw. Hodgson and Dean Smith both in charge of the clubs that they supported as a boy as well, which just adds that extra dimension to this as we have the first drinks break of the afternoon. Not quite sure the temperature is enough to need it, but of course they're thinking about the schedule, and it does, as we've mentioned several times on 5 Live over these games, it gives them this tactical input as well, and that does have an impact. It does change games, having this little break in the middle to impart some new tactics.
Well, it does now. All the staff just below us, actually Neil Taylor there, he's getting his hamstring stretched. Whether that's a concern, we'll see. But this is why I think the drinks game, the drinks break is so important at this stage. 2 games a week, they can assess little things like that with you. The medical staff can stop that little tear, that little pull, but the detail now given, those little comments about somebody in the hole, can somebody go a little bit tighter, can we try and stretch them, flip it into those areas. So you're getting some real good information across, and it is quite warm. But Vicky, I can't understand, you've got a big cardigan on, we've got the t-shirts on, and we are obviously social distancing, you're far away, it must be quite cool over there, unless you've got an air conditioning unit, I'm not sure.
Well, I live up north now, but I'm a southern girl at heart, which is why the extra layers are certainly necessary. Michael Brown, Tyrone Mings as well there was just getting a little bit of treatment for Aston Villa, and we are ready, just about to get underway after that drinks break. 0-0 between Aston Villa and Crystal Palace. Villa, who really need a win this afternoon if they're not to be cut what would look like irrevocably adrift. Not quite, not mathematically. Got a couple of games coming up. West Ham, that huge game on the final day. It would still give them a chink of hope. That chink would slowly narrow, very much so, if they were not to win here. 0-0 so far, and Crystal Palace on the attack. Here goes Wilfried Zaha racing towards the penalty area. Has Ayew inside. Zaha trying to trick his way down to the byline, and he can't keep it in, and there's a little bit of afters there between Tyrone Mings and Wilfried Zaha as the ball went behind for an Aston Villa goal kick. You can hear Martin Atkinson's whistle being blown frantically, and it's all just boiling over a little bit here, Michael Brown. You can tell that tempers are fraying.
Wilfried Zaha is not in control whatsoever. He's not happy. Something's annoyed him. I wonder how Martin Atkinson can deal with this. In the first place, you see Wilfried Zaha going through the middle, and you know how quick his feet are, left and right, and the challenge came over, and he was great defending to usher the ball out, but then it all just went crazy.
Well, Atkinson is sending the rest of the players away. Zaha and Mings are being called over. It was that tete-a-tete that started the pushing and shoving, and I think it will be a booking apiece for that. We shall see. Martin Atkinson has the yellow card out. He is deep in discussions with Zaha, who is booked, and the same treatment, you would presume, will be directed to Tyrone Mings. Yes, a booking apiece. Both players picking up a yellow card, and Wilfried Zaha is still in discussions with Martin Atkinson. He now turns and walks away, as does Tyrone Mings. And there's a booking as well for Sacco, who got involved there for Crystal Palace. And now Jack Grealish is being spoken to. Not sure he went into the book, perhaps just a conversation there with the Villa captain. But you would expect tempers to be on the line for Aston Villa, given the stakes of this game. But certainly boiling over there from Wilfried Zaha and Tyrone Mings, just that inability to keep the ball in. And now, 3 players on a bit of a tightrope.
I'm just watching closely there at the screen, and what actually happens is Zaha actually kicks out. It was, as I said before, it was good defending in the first place, but he kicks out, and then Mings doesn't like it. He he sort of pushes him, says not accepting that. Zaha goes tight, they go face to face. But really there wasn't a huge amount in that. But obviously it started that melee, that little bit of a scuffle afterwards. But really Wilfried Zaha, that was the one he should not have kicked out in the first place.
And it remains Aston Villa 0, Crystal Palace 0. Palace have won a free kick just inside the Villa half. 27 minutes played in the sunshine at Villa Park. Wolves 3-0 winners over Everton earlier. Tottenham against Arsenal and Bournemouth against Leicester to come still with our commentaries on 5 Live. Palace, here is Zaha turning away from Grealish, plays it back to Milivojevic midway through the Aston Villa half and spreads it to the left, and MacArthur closed down by John McGinn. MacArthur still going, ran into trouble, ran the ball straight out of play. Villa throw.
It's gone a little bit scrappy, hasn't it? You know, I was listening to the commentary before with Deno and Clinton about it can really be a lull having the drinks break for the next few minutes, or it can sway the games, and hopefully they get it going now after that incident. And that's 2 big incidents, and plus a drinks break. Seems a little bit of stoppage in this first half.
Do you think the Crystal Palace players at that drinks break might have discussed that handball decision for Sakho's disallowed goal?
Well, I would be. You see the analyst behind us from Crystal Palace, and I was sort of looking at him to say handball. He was saying that's what it'll be, that he's in direct contact down to the bench area. They'll be giving their opinions, what they've seen, and I'd imagine they'll be into the officials very, very quickly.
And that is why that decision, it remains 0-0 as we approach the half-hour mark at Villa Park on 5 Live. Here is Trezeguet for Aston Villa, midway through the Crystal Palace half, right-hand side. Plays it back to the halfway line, and Tyrone Mings now has it midway through his own half, closed down by Christian Benteke. It was his goals that helped keep Aston Villa up, Benteke, in his 3 seasons with them. 42 in all. Never really managed to replace that in the Premier League. Of course, Tammy Abraham with a good season last season in the Championship and returning to Chelsea. And Aston Villa in possession just inside their own half, charged down by MacArthur. Mings will send it all the way back to Reina so we can get an update from the final day of the first test with the West Indies. Eleanor Oldroyd.
It's pretty tense here, Vicky. 88 for 3, the West Indies chasing 200 to win, so they need another 111 runs. Blackwood and Chase have put on 61 together, and a missed, we've had a couple of drop catches and a missed run out a couple of moments ago as well, fumbled by Zach Crawley. Otherwise one or both of them would have been out of their ground. It is pretty tense here. England had the best of the first session, West Indies best of the post-lunch session so far. 89 for 3, needing another 101 to win.
Thanks, Ellie. And while you were away, big chance for Aston Villa. Samatta heading over Michael Brown.
Well, it was a huge chance. It was down the right hand side. Al Mohammadi managed to get away, and it's really difficult to deliver a ball like this with the instep of his foot. He curls it right around the penalty spot area. There was Samatta coming right in. You could see him lift, thinking here we go, and he heads the ball over. Huge opportunity, fantastic cross.
In the Formula 1, Valtteri Bottas is leading the Styrian Grand Prix as Villa send it forward looking for Samatta down to the byline left hand side, but the flag is up and Crystal Palace will have a free kick offside against Samatta, who has scored twice for Aston Villa since that January move from Genk. But he has to do better there. Villa, we spoke earlier, Michael, didn't we, about taking their chances when they have them, particularly early on. And that's an opportunity gone begging.
Oh, it was a wonderful ball. Normally as a striker going in there, you lift your eyes, light up and think, here we go. Just put it over the bar, but it's real quality crossing.
Here come Crystal Palace, just forced back into their own half. Van Aanholt, Milivojevic, they're moving it well, the visitors, playing with the freedom that you would expect of a side sitting comfortably on 43 points as things stand. But that ball just over the head of Wilfried Zaha and goes through to Pepe Reina. He is cutting a frustrated figure, Wilfried Zaha. If you were with us earlier, you will have heard us mention the shocking racist abuse that he received and retweeted on social media. This morning, Aston Villa and Crystal Palace and Roy Hodgson as well in his pre-match interview have spoken about how cowardly and shocking that was, but certainly not something that you want to wake up to on the day of the game for any of us. Crystal Palace win the header on the halfway line. Sakho but it's straight to Douglas Luiz, who just turns away from trouble. Does well there, Luiz. And Aston Villa have it at the back. Villa, who are on this terrible run of form, just 2 points from their last 10 games. And they can't make anything of that. There is a shout of handball from Trezeguet against Van Aanholt, but it's not given. And Palace give the ball away, though, themselves, midway inside their own half. Here come Aston Villa, played forward by McGinn. Strong challenge by Sakho. Fair one, good one on Hourihane. And Crystal Palace will come forward over the halfway line. The darting feet of Jordan Ayew down the left-hand side up against El Mohammadi. Konsa is back there helping out as well. And Konsa, in the end, is fouled. Free kick Aston Villa, and they take it quickly. That urgency is there, Michael Brown. They know how important this game is. Nobody needs to tell them.
Well, it is, as soon as they get the opportunity. Konsa there, as you said, fantastic defending. That's a couple of opportunities now for him where he's stepped up and won the ball back for Aston Villa, but and they're moving it around very, very quickly. And a real loose pass, as just said, just about the quality. And then, you know, Tyrone Mings there. It's a real poor ball when you're trying to set momentum.
Is that lack of focus, pressure?
I think the pass was too easy for him. You know, when you say that.
As Aston Villa come forward edge of the penalty area, Samatta was challenging. Sakho hooks it over his shoulder, and Crystal Palace will clear away.
You know, a 20-yard pass, just, you know, your teammate just nearby that you can just stroke the ball into. That's where it was so comfortable for him.
Loose ball now from Sakho and Crystal Palace, but they get away with it as Villa play the ball forward too strongly, and Sakho will guide it back to Guaita. 0-0 here on 5 Live, 11 minutes until half-time, and Zaha will pick it up for Crystal Palace. Back to Joel Ward, forward again to Zaha, lovely turn, takes him, would have taken him past Taylor if Taylor hadn't upended him, and Crystal Palace, very unsurprisingly, have a free kick.
Well, he's still sat down, just in his shin pads. I was looking forward to that. He didn't disappoint to try and showboat Wilfried Zaha with a little nutmeg. They're laughing at each other now coming down the line, or something like, I slotted it through your legs and you had to take me out. And Neil Taylor also thought, you're not getting the other side of me. As a player, when you get nutmegged, you have to try and stop him getting the other side. That's just a given. By hook or by crook. However you have to do it, Vicky. In the laws of the game, obviously.
Or perhaps not, as the case may be, as Neil Taylor found out. And Aston Villa, though, pick up possession and advance through the Crystal Palace half. 0-0. El Mohammadi checks and plays it back, and now Hourihane looking for McGinn, but anticipated by Zaha, and he's off again. Skips past Hourihane, skips past Douglas Luiz, tries to find Benteke edge of the penalty area, and Konsa goes down and gets the decision. And Aston Villa have a free kick. Konsa, who felt that he should have got that decision when they played Manchester United when he went down in the penalty area. But Aston Villa are preparing to make a change 9.5 minutes before half time. And Aston Villa, who had to make a change in the warm-up after Horse pulled up, El Mohammadi came in, Matt Targett is going to come on as Villa come forward. Grealish sends it out to the right-hand side. El Mohammadi will do well to keep that in, does well to keep that in, tries to skip past Ayew, but the ball won't fall kindly for the Villa man, and Ayew will guide it back to Van Aanholt. And again, so clear, Michael Brown, Crystal Palace very, very comfortable to try and play their way out of danger.
They are, that's how they set up. And then they use that counter-attacking, the pace, Zaha, Ayew, and the threat of Benteke at the top of the pitch. They're comfortable out of possession. Roy Hodgson works week in, week out about, you know, controlling, soaking up these type of situations.
So it is Neil Taylor who is going to be replaced by Matt Targett. He's walking fairly freely, Neil Taylor, whether there was a little bit of afters in that stopping of Wilfried Zaha that's affected him. So he certainly had a decent game.
Do you know, when I mentioned at the drinks break, he went straight down, there was stretching off his hamstring, assessing it, your lower back, etc. And that could be the type of situation where they know not for him to carry on any longer to save such a bad injury. Now he could get away with maybe 4 or 5 days if they could loosen it, rather than a 3-week hamstring tear.
Yeah, you just can't take the risk, particularly not when you're up against Wilfried Zaha.
No, and that was the one we were looking forward to, weren't we? And it just didn't materialise.
Crystal Palace with the ball in the centre circle with Scott down out to the right hand side, and Zaha sent forward by Ward, but Palace won't keep it in, and Hourihane will take the throw quickly for Aston Villa, Aston Villa, who are desperate for a victory to pull them to within 4 points of safety with 3 games to play. Mings clears long downfield for Villa. Dan just reaches past Samatta with a boot and sends it forward for Palace, helped on by Ward. Zaha left it, headed away by Target for Villa. And Horahan then goes down. Martin Atkinson plays advantage, and Grealish, lovely ball to find McGinn in space just outside the centre circle. And here comes El Mohammadi for Aston Villa, swings the ball into the area. Grealish meets it first time, and it's well saved by Guaita. Best move of the match from Aston Villa right there.
Well, it was a slick move yet again. They moved it fast to the right hand side. It was the deep across this time. Come right out to Grealish, but it was just sort of in between his body line. He tried to use the instep of his right way. Possibly he could have let it come across him with his left. Straight down to Guaita, the goalkeeper, on the right hand side. Fantastic move and a good opportunity for Aston Villa.
7 minutes to go in the first half at Villa Park. 0-0. Grealish with the opportunity to swing this in from the corner as Villa look for the breakthrough. Palace already with a goal disallowed early on in this match. Grealish swings the ball in, it's deep, and it's straight into the arms of Guaita. And this time the Palace goalkeeper will pause and just allow the players to move out of his penalty area. You wouldn't expect to necessarily see it, Michael Brown, but certainly not that urgency that we're seeing from Aston Villa to get the game moving again. But Palace will be very happy with how this first half is going, apart from that contentious VAR handball decision. Well,
that's obviously going to be a discussion, but I think they'll be pleased with the possession and the build-up play they've had. They've got some good areas. Now it's a nice diagonal pass, but they don't choose it. Wilfried Zaha in those 10 rolls, probably a poor choice, but another foul. It's getting a little bit scrappy this game.
Yes, foul by Luiz on Zaha, and Crystal Palace will have a free kick just outside the centre circle. Between them, these sides actually have the 3 most fouled players in the Premier League this season. Grealish for Villa, Zaha and Ayew for Palace, as Ward sends the ball long aimlessly, and it's behind for a goal kick. Was that better? Was that stronger, Michael Brown? Aimlessly?
Yeah, a little bit better from you. You've been too kind to these players when there's an easy pass on, for sure. But again, we've had limited opportunities, haven't we? You know, limited shots on target. And Aston Villa are going to have to increase that. They're going to have to take more risk. And that's where Crystal Palace will become dangerous on the counter-attack.
Villa with the ball inside their own penalty area, just playing it out from the back. Long from Tyrone Mings, looking for Samatta, just hits the back of Scott Dan, and Vicente Guaita is out to gather at the edge of his area. But on the most fouled players debate, Michael, what do you make of those comments about Jack Grealish, that he perhaps doesn't see the bigger picture more often? I mean, it's not something, if you think Zaha is the second most fouled, that's not something you'd say about Zaha. Is he getting a bit of a bad press there, Grealish?
I think certain players, obviously, real ability players, are going to be fouled because they're the ones with creativity that can hurt you, so you've got to take that as a compliment. But these players are comfortable with a player near them, on them, touch, feel, they roll them, and then they like them close at times so they can do their little trick and get away from them.
Here come Crystal Palace trying to get away from Aston Villa. 0-0 here on 5 Live. Here is Zaha, picks it up outside the penalty area, drives into the box, right-hand side, pulls the ball across. It's trapped and struck by Benteke, blocked on the edge of the 6-yard box. Second bite of the cherry, blocked again by Reina, and saved at the 3rd time by Reina from Benteke. Well, they were snapshots, really, Michael Brown, but Christian Benteke has had not 1, not 2, but 3 bites of the cherry there against his former club.
Yeah, he did. It was a big chance again. It was great work. Wilfried Zaha down the right-hand side. He goes left. There's a little step over. It's so difficult when he's in those tight areas to take the ball off him. He pulls the ball back. Benteke turns, drills the ball, but luckily for Aston Villa, straight at Reina's feet, and good save, good opportunity, and they've managed to get the rebound away.
And Villa in possession now, midway through the Crystal Palace half. Grealish lays it off to the right-hand side. The delivery was chested down by Trezeguet, but bounces to Sakho, who will clear for Crystal Palace. Up to Jordan Ayew, pressured by Douglas Luiz, and then fouled by a combination of Luiz and El Mohammadi. Just clattered into Ayew, knocked him over, and Crystal Palace have a free kick midway inside their own half.
I think Crystal Palace, when it goes flat, they can just kill the game slightly. Just work on a little bit of build-up, but there'll be no rush at this moment in time.
Yes, Palace themselves, who are looking to end a run of poor form. We mentioned Aston Villa's earlier. Palace, who have lost their last 4 games in a row, having won the previous 4 before that, which is why they're sitting in such a comfortable position mid-table. And here they are on the ball. Milivojevic sends it forward, space for Ayew to turn into midway through the Villa half, out to the left-hand side, and the darting run and shot is blocked by Reina, and Benteke can't snaffle up the rebound. The offside flag had gone up anyway, but again we see the danger of Wilfried Zaha.
We do, this time on the opposite flank. He pulls it onto his right foot, pushes out of his feet, and he goes for that curler out into the far post, but it wasn't right in the far corner, and there's Reina with a save down to his left-hand side, and another good opportunity for Crystal Palace.
2 minutes to go until half-time, plus added time at Villa Park. And still we await the first goal that won't be chalked off by VAR. Crystal Palace waste that throw. Tyrone Mings has it at the back for Aston Villa. Latest scores in the Championship: Stoke 2, Birmingham 0. That's a real boost for Stoke's survival hopes if it stays like that. Swansea 0, Leeds 0. Leeds going 4 points clear of Brentford in third. With that scoreline as the ball is swung in, it's poor from Villa, bounces on the top of the Crystal Palace net. Lewis Hamilton is leading the Styrian Grand Prix. And the West Indies are 96 for 3, chasing 200 for victory on the 5th and final day of the first test in Southampton. Just getting all a little bit scrappy, Michael Brown, as we approach half-time. But as you say, Crystal Palace with those chances just in the ascendancy at the moment.
Well, they are. We've been limited to opportunities. Talk about Aston Villa, 3 shots, only 1 on target. You know, this is a team who need to create more very, very quickly to stay up in this Premier League.
Villa do well to win the ball back there through Konsa, just outside his own penalty area. Al Mohammadi will try and bring it away, but ends up committing the foul on MacArthur. And Crystal Palace will have a free kick midway through the Aston Villa half, far left-hand side, as we enter the final 60 seconds before the break in the sunshine at Villa Park. Palace roll the free kick down the left. It swung into the area. It was a dangerous ball in. Douglas Luiz heads it up. Trezeguet will try and prevent the corner. Does so. Palace will pick it back up though. Here is Ayew. Delivers the ball into the area. Cleared away by Tyrone Mings. Villa are having to defend here at the closing stages of this first half. But then Zaha slips as he tries to pick that ball up outside the box. And it will be a throw to Aston Villa. And Horahan will leave it for target as we enter 5 minutes of stoppage time at the end of this first half. Partly for the drinks break, largely for the VAR check.
Well, very much so. The VAR check took a huge amount of time, and that's going to be a talking point, I'm sure, for the rest of this day.
Yeah, Crystal Palace, who thought they had taken the lead so early on, ruled out for handball. And it seemed to strike the part shoulder, part back. Where does your arm start? Certainly seemed very harsh from Mamadou Sakho. It's Sakho now on the ball for Crystal Palace. Sends it out to the right-hand side. Well headed away by Targett, who flew into the air to clear that away on the edge of his own penalty area. And Crystal Palace will come again. Here is MacArthur. Midway through the Villa half. Spreads it out to the right-hand side. 0-0. As Ward delivers the ball into the area, will be over the head of Ayew. Trezeguet, though, has to watch it and doesn't do so well enough. And Ayew, good strength there to win it back. Drives into the penalty area, left-hand side, takes a tumble, won't get the decision that he wants, and it will be a goal kick to Aston Villa.
Yeah, just ran away from him there, didn't it? But again, Crystal Palace seemed to be a threat to get into Aston Villa's final third. It's great work by Ayew. Just watching the clip back now. He drives into the box, he just couldn't get away, but you sort of give him the benefit of the doubt after the great work he put in. He was going to be tired on the turn from the touchline.
Best goal scoring season in the Premier League for Jordan Ayew. Just 1 away from the magic 10. As Samatta wins the header for Aston Villa on the halfway line. Only sends it to Milivojevic though for Crystal Palace. And we have played almost 2 of the minimum 5 minutes added on at the end of this first half, and Palace happy to go through the gears, forwards to MacArthur, back to Sakho. And now Scott Dan out to the right-hand side in front of the watchful eye of Dean Smith. Joel Ward keeps hold of it for Crystal Palace, but Horahan does well to win that and play it off Kouyate as well for an Aston Villa throw. Taken quickly. Here is Grealish, stepping away from Milivojevic, stepping away from Martin Atkinson as well. And finds space over on the right for Al Mohammadi. Ball into the area. Dan does really well there for Palace. Anticipates it, gets his foot in to block the initial cross, and then clears away. Villa pick it up on the far side though. 0-0 with Crystal Palace. Deep in stoppage time at the end of the first half. Mings in the centre circle, sends it forward to Douglas Luiz. Space over on this left-hand side. If Grealish wants to use it, he has target, he has Horahan. Instead he goes down under the challenge of Kouyate, and the most fouled player in the Premier League draws another foul, gets another free kick. Very good position this for Aston Villa.
I'm just trying to think of the word I'm going to use when he said draws another foul. He created a foul. I think that's where you say, you know, as an opposition player there, I'm very, very frustrated. It's so difficult for Martin Atkinson, the referee, not to give it, because he's so good at making his legs go from under his feet on that situation while under pressure.
And in that scenario as well, Kouyate is between Grealish and the referee, so from Atkinson's view, you just see that collision, as it were. But Villa have the free kick, and it will be swung in by Horahan. It's a good delivery, it's well headed away, but met at the far post and driven in. And what a huge goal that is for Aston Villa. Trezeguet gives them the lead. Trezeguet gives them hope in their relegation battle. Aston Villa 1, Crystal Palace 0.
Well, what a huge goal. We talked about the quality, the delivery from wide areas. The ball comes in with such pace. There was a touch, and I thought great defending from whoever it was from Crystal Palace. I think it was Joel Ward. But there at the back post, free as the overload was at the front post with his side foot. Trezeguet just right across the right-hand post of Guaita. No chance. Fantastic finish to take the lead for Aston Villa.
Well, he hasn't scored in the Premier League since the start of December, Trezeguet. But what a huge goal that could be for Aston Villa. Crystal Palace undone just before the break. And as they kick off, it's a beautiful finish under pressure, isn't it, Michael Brown? Just steers it in.
Well, you talk about the deliveries, the quality. No, I'd love to see that free kick again from Jack Grealish. About opportunities created, getting him on the ball, that's what happens, he gets free kicks.
Here come Palace though at the other end. Benteke in the area, shot straight at Pepe Reina. Well, he's had chances in this first half, Christian Benteke, as Reina boots that ball straight out of play. Palace have a player down, it's Patrick Van Aanholt just outside the centre circle. We've played the minimum 5 minutes added on at the end of this first half, but there will be more now because Van Aanholt needs to receive some treatment. But what a huge goal that could be in Aston Villa's season. And Trezeguet, who was the man who hit the post at 0-0 against Manchester United last time out. And Manchester United then benefiting from that very questionable VAR decision. You have to say Aston Villa have benefited from their own questionable VAR decision early on in this match when Palace had the opener ruled out for a very, very, very harsh handball from Sakho. But you take your chances. That's what they needed to do, Michael Brown. That's what we said at the start of this match. They've had the rub of the green at one end and they've taken the chance at the other.
Well, I'm just watching it again. Goalkeeper, no chance. It was a great header by Joel Ward trying to flick the ball away, but it was about the delivery. The delivery, the runs, that more players in the box attacking it, and it fell, and just that overload. And because they were right on top of the goalkeeper, because the delivery's good, they're all making those attacking runs. And Trezeguet was on that back post. His finish was crisp, it was calm. He got great connection on right across the goalkeeper, low and hard. You see the celebrations down below us. It was a wonderful finish, and right on half-time. Fantastic from them.
Patrick Van Aanholt is back up to his feet for Crystal Palace. Will leave the field of play because he has received treatment from the physio on the pitch. And it's about staying alert, isn't it, Michael? You've got to stay alert. We both thought that header from Ward had cleared the danger, but Trezeguet knew that it might come to him as Palace give the ball back to Pepe Reina.
But to be fair to Palace, they've created opportunities that again straight away back up the pitch with Benteke. We had 3 in a row in the space of 7 minutes. And Pepe Reina saves. They just hit him every single time.
Well, there is the half-time whistle. A huge 45 minutes for Aston Villa coming up. but they have got the job done so far, right at the end of that first half. And Michael Brown, what a lift that will give Dean Smith and John Terry as we see them walking towards the tunnel. What a lift that will give those Villa players going into this half-time team talk.
It's a huge lift. When they go in there, they'll be saying, let's concentrate, let's do the same things again, can we be a little bit better? Because it was Crystal Palace really who looked a little bit more comfortable, a little bit at ease. Aston Villa create some good chances of their own. We've seen Samata with a header over the bar, which was a good chance. Grealish at the back post with his opposite foot. So there'll be opportunities in the game. It's all about putting it in the net, and at the stage where Aston Villa needed it, that quality at the back post from Trezeguet to make it 1-0.
Half time at Villa Park. Aston Villa 1, Crystal Palace 0.
No surprise, Michael Brown, how many messages we're getting to 85058 and at 5 Live Sport about Sakho's disallowed goal. Dan, VAR is a joke. Richard, VAR has to go or improve vastly. James, is this VAR or is it the handball law? Which is a great point, but at the same time, you can just pick up the clear and obvious thing. How can that be clear and obviously wrong and reversed? I'm still shocked when it was happening, Steve. We're looking around, we're seeing everybody watch the screens, watch different replays, and we're sort of going, it's a goal. That's going to be given. I don't believe he can. And I actually said in commentary, it wasn't ideal because I said, you watch, I'll say it. And I got overruled in the week in the Everton game with VAR, and they've done it again to me, Steve. It's not even good when you've got an opinion very, very quickly. But I still believe that's got to be a goal. It's ridiculous. I don't understand how you can reverse that decision. That's the thing that gets me. Michael and Vicky will be back with you guys for second half commentary from Villa Park. So very, very controversial, but Aston Villa have the 1-0 lead. No need for umpire's call for England in Southampton. Ellie Oldroyd.
No, Jofra Archer celebrating taking his third wicket of this West Indies innings, and he's broken that crucial partnership between Jermaine Blackwood and Roston Chase, dropping it in short. Chase just bounced, just tried to get out of the way of it, just catching the handle of his bat, or maybe his glove, couldn't see very clearly, but Joss Buttler taking it behind the stumps. So Roston Chase out for 37, that partnership of 73 broken. Jermaine Blackwood is still there on 39. Shane Dowrich, the wicketkeeper, has just come in. Don't forget that Jason Holder, the captain, is still in the pavilion waiting to come out as well, so he could play a big part today. 102 for 4 now, the West Indies. We have still got that thrilling finish in prospect, Steve. If all goes to plan, West Indies need another 98 runs to win here.
Very, very tight, isn't it? Thank you, Ellie. Full coverage on 5 Live Sports Extra with the TMS team. If the score stays how it is at Villa Park, by the way, Aston Villa move on to 30 points, so there'd be 4 from safety with 3 games left to go. There's also 2 games in the Championship right now with ramifications at both ends of the table. Let's start at the Liberty Stadium. Michelle Owen.
Yes, Steve, Swansea 0, Leeds 0, and there's 80 minutes gone here at the Liberty. The best chance of the half fell to Leeds when Jack Harrison volleyed the ball back across goal. Patrick Bamford is about 3 or 4 yards out, and his diving header was brilliantly saved by Swansea keeper Freddie Woodman. Up the other end, Conor Gallagher went close for Swansea. He did brilliantly to burst into the box, but his shot was tipped over. It's been a tight, tense game. Leeds edging it in terms of possession, but back at the start of the season, this happened up at Ellen Road. Swansea soaked up the pressure, and then they hit them with a blow, and they won 1-0. So 10 minutes to go here. It's still 0-0, and it is tense.
Massive 10 minutes that as well. Leeds will be top of the table on 82 if it stays that way. Brentford on 78, so they'd have a 4-point gap with 3 games to go for Swansea as well. 6th in the table on 64 points. The same points as their South Wales rivals Cardiff City. 1 place above them and only 2 goals better off. That's very close. This isn't. The big wins of the day so far look like being Stoke City, Sahel Sahi.
Yes, very much so, Steve. 8 minutes to play here at the Bet365. They're leading Birmingham by 2-0. Those 2 goals in the first half. After 12 minutes, Danny Barr, and on the stroke of half-time, Sam Klukas, their leading goal scorer this season in the Championship. If Stoke can keep the scoreline as it is, 2-0, they'll climb 4 places in the table above Birmingham on goal difference. They currently lead Birmingham City then by 2-0.
Started 21st in the table, one place above the relegation zone, going 17th as it stands. Let's go to the Styrian Grand Prix. We had a very dramatic start. How are we getting on now? Jack Nicholls.
It's settled down, Steve. We're on lap 53 of 71. Hamilton is pretty comfortably leading this race, 5 seconds ahead of Max Verstappen. Valtteri Bottas in the Mercedes is third. He's trying to close in on Verstappen because he pitted a bit later and has fresher tyres, but it's not really working out for him. So the top three of Hamilton, Verstappen and Bottas fairly stable. Alex Albon in the other Red Bull is in fourth place, getting closed down very, very quickly by the Mexican Sergio Perez in the Racing Point. The two Ferraris were out on lap 1, so they're not involved in the fight. And all the attention now, Jolyon Palmer, is the fight for fourth place.
Perez absolutely flying. He's done back-to-back fastest laps of the Grand Prix, 8/10 quicker than Alex Albon in the Red Bull. And this is a charge that's come from 17th on the grid, looking for fourth place. He's put in some amazing overtakes outside of Carlos Sainz at turn 6 to highlight. It's the race of his life at the moment. The top three, they're fairly equidistant, but the battle for fourth is looking like it's about to get spicy.
And in the Ferrari fight, Charles Leclerc hitting the side of Sebastian Vettel, and he's subsequently apologised. Right decision, correct blame there?
Yeah, Leclerc stuck a half a nose in on Vettel lap 1, and it was always going to be a gap that shuts. It was a clumsy move from Leclerc. He's put his hands up and apologised, fair dues, but it doesn't help Ferrari. They're both out of the race.
Lap 54 of 71, full commentary of the closing stages on the BBC Sport website and app, of course. Hamilton leading, Verstappen second, Bottas third, Steve.
Already on this 5 Live Premier League Sunday, Wolves have beaten Everton 3-0. It's Villa 1, Crystal Palace 0 at half-time at Villa Park. We'll be back there for second half commentary. Later this evening, we've got Bournemouth and Leicester, which kicks off at 7. At 4:30, a North London derby, Tottenham Hotspur against Arsenal. We'll make our first trip there after the latest news on 5 Live. Here's Richard Foster.
On digital, BBC Sounds, smart speaker and online.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
The Cabinet Office Minister Michael Gove says he trusts people's common sense and doesn't think that face masks should be compulsory in shops in England. Ministers are considering whether face covering should be mandatory. A pilot from North Lanarkshire is finally coming home after spending more than 2 months on COVID life support in Vietnam. Stephen Cameron, who's 42 and from Motherwell, is said to have been the sickest patient in the area. Around 200 workers are isolating after 73 people tested positive for COVID-19 at a farm in Herefordshire. They're being asked to stay there while the local council arranges food and essential supplies. Primark says it won't ask for a £30 million bonus, which was announced by the Chancellor, Rishi Sunak, earlier this week. Companies will be paid £1,000 for each worker they bring back from the furlough scheme. The company says all 30,000 staff it put into that scheme are now back at work. And the Home Secretary Priti Patel is in Calais to discuss the growing number of migrants crossing the Channel in boats. Almost 2,500 people have reached the UK that way so far this year.
On BBC Two.
He was and remains one of the most interesting people in the world.
There's no other media figure that has had the kind of influence that Rupert Murdoch has had.
Well, Murdoch's a proper danger to liberal democracies.
He always wanted at least one of his children to take over from him.
Family, money and power. The inside story.
There's only one Rupert that we know.
The rise of the Murdoch dynasty starts on Tuesday night at 9 on BBC Two and BBC iPlayer.
More live Premier League football than anyone else.
5 Live's Premier League Sunday
with Steve Crossman.
Back at Villa Park shortly for second half commentary. Let's make our first trip of the afternoon to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Spurs versus Arsenal. We've got full commentary of that. Kicks off at 4:30. Your commentary team, the former Arsenal defender Matt Upson and our correspondent John Murray. Good afternoon, chaps.
Good afternoon, Steve. Good afternoon, Steve.
Afternoon. I know it's at some point have to try and sort of get over the lack of fans, John, but this is one of those occasions where it just feels wrong.
Yeah, funnily enough, I was going to say to you that the stage is set absolutely perfectly here in this wonderful stadium that has never staged a North London derby before, so it's the very first time. I'm sure that under normal circumstances the Arsenal supporters, not that they'd admit it, would be looking forward to coming here and having a little look inside and seeing what all the fuss was all about, but that will not be happening. The sun's shining, it's a beautifully warm afternoon. It just feels everything is right, apart from the fact that there won't be any supporters.
It's very difficult to get away from how much of a shame that is, Matt.
Absolutely, and also the one thing that does feel, I say strange, but it actually feels a real privilege to be here, to be honest, to be able to sit here and and be entertained and watch, you know, some live sport in a venue and on the stage like this. It's a real privilege, and like John just said, the day is immaculate. It's very warm. I'm just pleased that producer George reminded me to bring my coat on a WhatsApp earlier. He's always thinking about us.
Good, so he should be. You used the word entertained there. Would that apply to Tottenham Hotspur at the moment? I wonder if they had fans in the stadium, how many would be expecting to be entertained?
Well, yeah, it's an interesting thought, isn't it? I mean, it hasn't been particularly entertaining, has it? You know, you can't really hide from the fact of the performances, especially their last game against Bournemouth was pretty disastrous, if I'm honest, in terms from a footballing perspective. But this match normally brings something a little bit special, doesn't it? You know, we've seen a lot of really high octane, a lot of goals in the past in this fixture, and usually it brings something different out of the players. It'd be interesting to see if they can produce that today without the support.
The thing that occurred to me, John, is that I guess even though the sort of noise around Tottenham Hotspur at the moment is not great, how big a proportion of that is forgiven if they win a game of this magnitude?
Well, what it will not do to a great extent is narrow the gap between themselves and the very best teams in the Premier League at the moment. And I think it's interesting when you have a look back and remember, you know, it was only last season that they were the Champions League finalists. In the Premier League that last season, they finished 27 points behind Manchester City. As we speak now, they're 44 points behind the new champions Liverpool. So I think that just gives you an idea of the lack of progress, really, even though they've made the change. And Jose Mourinho now, this is his 32nd competitive match as the Tottenham manager. Now, are they massively further on in terms of getting towards where they eventually want to be? And I know what he said this week, and it, you know, it does take time, clearly. But I think they, within the club, and I certainly know that the supporters will feel that the progress should be a good deal more marked than it has been so far.
I mean, I think you kind of use the phrase progress, John, because it's gone backwards, in my opinion, in terms from a playing perspective. And I know, you know, the idea was to move forwards with the appointment of Mourinho and become a team that could win a trophy. But from what I've seen on the pitch, it's taken a backward step more than anything. And I think a lot of people will be looking at that very worryingly and just wondering whether Pochettino was getting a lot more out of this group of players from a footballing perspective than what he maybe ought to have done.
Yeah, and you see, that's another point that we need to say, that if this was a stadium full of Tottenham fans and things did not go well today, I think the reaction of the fans inside the stadium could be difficult for the team, for Mourinho, for Daniel Levy. And I know that there's this talk of a plane, some supporters sending a plane over, which will have a banner on it that will protest against Daniel Levy's time in charge. But you see, within the club, they would say, well, look how much money has been spent on this stadium and indeed on players in the last couple of transfer windows, and the training ground facilities, i.e. they would say, well, we've put things in place, it's going to take time.
John, Matt, thank you very much. We'll be back with John Murray and Matt Upson for full commentary of the North London derby. There has been a goal in the Championship. It's at the Liberty Stadium. Which way, Michelle Owen?
Massive goal for Leeds, Steve. They lead 1-0 in the dying embers of the game, and they've got Pablo Hernandez to thank. It was a good cross by Luke Ayling. Pablo Hernandez, he took a touch, and it wasn't the cleanest strike. He sort of hit it with the inside of his right heel, and it just bobbled towards the inside of the post and in. Cue massive celebrations from Leeds. The substitutes all ran up to the corner flag, and even though there's no fans in the Liberty Stadium, the travelling contingent with Leeds United went absolutely mad. Their local media erupted. They know that goal is absolutely huge in taking them a step closer possibly to Premier League promotion. A big blow for Swansea, who've been in this all the way through, but it's Leeds who lead as we go into 5 minutes of added time. It's 1-0.
And listen to this, Leeds United fans. Stays like this, you go to 84 points. Brentford are on 78, so you're 6 clear of third with just 3 games to go. Those 3 games include Barnsley and Charlton. Leeds United look like they're on their way back to the Premier League, and that late goal could almost see them there. Aston Villa got a late first half goal. They've got a lot more work to do to survive in this Premier League season. Second half commentary on Villa Palace with Michael Brown and Vicky Sparks.
Thanks, Steve. The Villa players are back out for one of the biggest 45 minutes of their season. This was a must-win game in reality coming into this. They are winning it at the moment. Trezeguet's late goal on the stroke of half-time after Palace had that early Sacco effort, very controversially ruled out for handball by VAR. And as we wait for the Crystal Palace there to take the field, Michael Brown, a little smile there from you after news of that Leeds goal, one of your former clubs. They're so nearly there, aren't they?
Last minute they're there. I told you before, Vicky, that they were there. I had every faith in Leeds United this season, and Hernandez yet again, that bit of quality coming off the bench last few games, and he's the creativity spark, managed to get that goal, and fantastic news from my old club, Leeds United.
So Crystal Palace are emerging in the staggered emergence that we have in this era of social distancing from the one tunnel here at Villa Park to our left. They're going to make a change as well. James McCarthy is going to come on. We will wait to see who he replaces. And Palace jogging into their own half will play from right to left in this second half in the away kits of the white shirt with the red and blue diagonal stripe, the white shorts and the white socks with the red and blue band at the top. Aston Villa in the traditional claret and blue tops, the white shorts and the blue socks. There were encouraging signs for Crystal Palace at times as James McCarthy comes on for James MacArthur, and you know, that's really considerate from Roy Hodgson, because that is a nightmare for a commentator when those two are on the pitch at the same time.
It's often that change. It was the change last week when I was doing the game. I was just counting them going, where is he? Where's he gone? So yes, a nice comfortable one for us, Vicky.
So McCarthy is on. Aston Villa it will be to get us underway, leading by a goal to nil in this must-win match in their relegation battle. And Douglas Luiz gets us underway on 5 Live. Commentary of the North London derby to come. Bournemouth against Leicester as well this evening. But here at Villa Park, all eyes and all ears on Aston Villa and Crystal Palace as Villa start brightly, playing the ball forward to the Palace penalty area. John McGinn picks it up, challenged well in the centre of the park by McCarthy. And then Jordan Ayew is fouled, and it will be a free kick to Crystal Palace just inside their own half. So we can take you through the lineups. Aston Villa with Reina in goal, a back four of El Mohammadi, Konsa, Mings and Targett, who came on in the first half for Neil Taylor. Midfield four of Hourihane, Luiz, McGinn and Trezeguet, who has scored that precious goal. And Grealish supporting Samatta up front. Crystal Palace will play the ball back with Sacco, who had that effort ruled out by VAR in the first half. Palace with Guaita in goal. A back four of Ward, Dan, Sacco and Van Aanholt, Kouyate, Milivojevic and McCarthy in midfield. A midfield that is being darted through by Jack Grealish for Aston Villa into the penalty area. Grealish then goes down. Penalty to Aston Villa inside the opening 2 minutes of this second half. And what a huge decision for Aston Villa that goes their way. A chance to put breathing space between themselves and Crystal Palace. And again, it's that man, Jack Grealish.
Well, he is, you know, when he goes into penalty area, you cannot touch him. And I think it was Van Aanholt just catches on his toe and he dives straight down. But there is a VAR check. Surely it's not going to be overturned yet again. It was a wonderful ball by McGinn through the heart of Crystal Palace. And then they managed to get Grealish away, running at defenders, and that's what he creates.
Well, that's it. He just waits for that challenge to come in, doesn't he? VAR are checking it again. We think of the clear and obvious bar. Can you clearly and obviously say that's not a penalty? That's what they'll be looking at. They're having another look, Michael.
Yeah, they are. You can see, we can't see the replays now. There was just a tiny bit of contact on the top of Jack Grealish's toe, as I'm just seeing, so minimal. The contact is the lightest touch on his, and he manages to dive back the other way to try and make sure he gets a penalty. That's what they'll be looking at.
It's one of those that if it's not given, you don't think that would be overturned. The question is, do they think that is clearly and obviously not a penalty, given that Martin Atkinson has given it? And we've seen, haven't we, those contentious penalties. Villa suffered one, Manchester United getting it, James Ward-Prowse getting it. That question of who initiates contact, whether there is enough contact, Vicky, that's been Vicky, in the headlines,
Vicky,
hasn't it?
What's strange is Jack Grealish dives the other way away from it, so it either hurts him for him to dive up, or he's tried to really make sure the referee knows there is some contact. And you can see how long this check's going. They are so difficult. I said before, he makes it look so definite that there's a free kick when he goes down. He's very, very good at making sure when he's touched that he gets the foul.
But then again, you're saying if it's taking this long, but I think because they have been in the headlines so much, these sort of decisions, what will the decision be?
No foul.
No foul. No penalty for Aston Villa. It has been overturned by VAR. No use of the pitch side monitor. John Moss, the VAR, has decided that that is not a penalty for Aston Villa. Michael Brown?
I mean, the clips I'm trying to watch it back many times now. There was a stamp and a coming together between the 2 feet. But Jack Grealish is then rolling over, diving the opposite way and holding on to his ankle. And, you know, if there's no foul given, do we not have to question the dive, or is that because of the contact or the motion? It's such a good talking point, and I'm sure people will be discussing it all around social media as we speak.
So no penalty for Aston Villa. They still lead Crystal Palace by a goal to nil. Luka Milivojevic over. Free kick for Crystal Palace, sent into the area. It's collected by Scott Dan, but free kick is given against him. And Villa will have a set piece in their own box. And you wonder as well, Michael Brown, whether the fact that those decisions, that contact in the penalty area, is it initiated by the attacker or the defender? Is there enough contact? Because they have been so discussed in the last few days, because they've been so contentious, that is why VAR looked for so long at that, because they couldn't, in their eyes, afford to get another one of those wrong.
Well, they really did take the time. It was a tough one for them. But why Jack Grealish diving the other way really makes you start to question the amount of contact. So it's the detail you start to look in. If it was a less of a fall, so actually what we talked about in winning the one for the first goal guarantees you get the one, but in the second one it's probably gone against him.
Trezeguet's ball into the penalty area for Aston Villa, chested back by McCarthy to Vicente Guaita. So Crystal Palace will try and build from the back. We can head to full-time in the Championship. Stoke against Birmingham. Sohail Sahi.
It's ended 2-0 to Stoke at Vicky. Crucial win for them. Goals from Danny Barr and Sam Klukas in the first half proved enough. Stoke, they go above Birmingham in the table on goal difference, with both sides 4 points above the drop zone. Birmingham are now winless in 11 league matches. The slide continues. Stoke 2, Birmingham City 0.
Thanks, Sohail. Here Aston Villa still leading 1-0, have the ball on the halfway line. As soon as we get a break in play, we will go for a full-time report that again will make Michael Brown smile. Here come Aston Villa though, target down the left-hand side to Grealish, who has seen that penalty ruled out by VAR that he'd won. Target centred into the area, was looking for John McGinn, and it's bundled back to Vicente Guaita, and Crystal Palace still trail by a goal to nil. So we can head to Swansea, where it's full time with Leeds. Michelle Owen.
Vicky, what a massive result for Leeds. It's Swansea 0, Leeds 1, and it's thanks to Pablo Hernandez. His scuff shot came off the post and went in the 89th minute. They had to wait for it. Swansea made them work for it, but that 89th minute when it takes them 6 points clear of third place Brentford, and there's just a sense here that this might just be it. They are within touching distance of the Premier League now. It's finished. Swansea 0, Leeds 1.
Thanks, Michelle. He's looking stoic to my left, Michael Brown, but he's not in the inside. Here come Aston Villa. Swing the ball into the penalty area. Well claimed by Guaita. And they still lead Crystal Palace by a goal to nil. Well, wouldn't be a football match in this day and age without plenty of VAR talking points, Michael, and certainly had a couple here this afternoon. Here come Crystal Palace trying to play their way out of trouble. Now, initially, Kouyaté was robbed by McGinn, but Martin Atkinson judges that McGinn did so illegally, and Crystal Palace will have a free kick midway inside their own half. Big game coming up at 4:30. Our next commentary on 5 Live, the North London derby, and John Murray has the team news.
3 changes for Tottenham. Sanchez, Son and Moura come in for Bergwijn, Lamela and Vertonghen. So Dyer suspended, Dele Alli injured. 1 change for Arsenal, and that is Pepe coming in for Saka. Remember, Nketiah suspended for Arsenal.
Thanks, John. Commentary with John and Matt Upson from 4:30, and we've got Bournemouth against Leicester for you as well at 7 with Ali Bruce Ball and Karen Carney. Aston Villa win a throw over on that far side, and it's all been a little bit scrappy, Michael Brown, since that penalty that was awarded initially for Aston Villa but then overturned by VAR.
Well, it's certainly been the talking points VAR so far in this game. Big question mark. Oh, it's a bad tackle.
That's late from Kouyate. Now I think he wins the ball initially with his right foot, but really catches Louise with his left. Martin Atkinson already has the yellow card out, and Kouyate will go into the book for Crystal Palace.
It's a strong challenge, wasn't it? It was just looking... It's quite low. I think that's in his favour. It's around the ankles, so it was always going to be a yellow card, but it was a real strong challenge from Kouyate.
So free kick to Aston Villa, a third of the way inside the Crystal Palace half, just to the right of the centre circle, and Conor Hourihane just knocks the ball a half a yard or so forward. But again, plenty of claret and blue shirts up there for Aston Villa, leading Crystal Palace by a goal to nil in this must-win match here on 5 Live. Hourihane stands over it, swings it into the area. It's a poor ball in, but Sacco swiped for it, and it bounced through to Guaita. So we can head to the closing stages of the Formula One with Jack Nicholls.
Lewis Hamilton is leading on the final lap. He's coming through the final couple of corners now. He's going to take the win in the Styrian Grand Prix ahead of Valtteri Bottas in second position. Hamilton out of the final corner, sees the checkered flag and wins the second race of the season. Valtteri Bottas, his Mercedes teammate, finishes second, having charged up through the order, and it's Bottas still who leads the championship, but Hamilton wins the Grand Prix.
Thanks, Jack. Celebrations for Lewis Hamilton, and good pressure this from Crystal Palace, trailing Aston Villa by a goal to nil. 10 minutes gone in this second half, and they've won a corner. Patrick Van Aanholt will walk over to that right hand side over in the sunshine to take it, and the white shirts are congregating just to the left of the penalty spot. Kouyate is there, Dan as well, Benteke and Sacco has already seen a goal ruled out for Crystal Palace. Here is Van Aanholt, swings the ball in to the far post, and Dan was going for the header and didn't make contact, did make contact with Hourihane, but because the ball has gone behind, Martin Atkinson didn't step in, and it will be a goal kick to Aston Villa.
It's a good battle there at the back post as Van Aanholt was delivering it in. You have to stay with your man. You could see they didn't want to break the lines. You and your teammate, don't let anybody get through there, anybody get an attack and a run. Down at the back post, just couldn't get any sort of contact on it. It was well defended from Aston Villa.
Pepe Reina sends it long for Aston Villa as Roy Hodgson in his dark suit stands there, hands on hips. The ball bounces away.
He's took his shades off, Vicky. He had his shades on earlier. The sun was shining. Roy came out with the shades on, so we thought, is he just looking forward to the summer now? Is his team safe? I don't think he ever does that. He's always demanding the best from his players.
Very dapper indeed he looks. A couple of fist bumps as well from Roy Hodgson. And here come Aston Villa, leading by a goal to nil. Laid off to target on the left-hand side and Phil to Samatta, who was clattered into by Scott Dan. And Villa will have a free kick in a good position right on the corner of the penalty area. I think Dan feeling that he just used his strength there, but illegally so. And Aston Villa with another set-piece opportunity.
It's a good position now. Over the quality, Jack Grealish is just taking his time to get the ball, but you'd expect him to be the one. The delivery is very, very wide, whether he can actually get his shot away.
So Hourihane is there as well for Aston Villa. And Grealish stand over it. Can they find that breathing space that they thought they had won an opportunity to claim with that penalty? That was then reversed, the award, by VAR early in this second half. Aston Villa in this must-win match, realistically, for their hopes of survival, have another set-piece opportunity. It's Hourihane who swings it in, and that's a good save by Guaita. That was a ferocious delivery from Hourihane, and it will be an Aston Villa corner.
Yeah, fantastic from his left foot, wasn't it? You thought he was going to be the right-footed in-swinger. He's gone round the wall. Guaita was there with a fabulous save to his near post. Again, a great attack. Aston Villa now, can they get this second goal?
Grealish is over this corner on the far side in the sunshine at Villa Park, leading Crystal Palace by a goal to nil. Grealish will swing it in and flicked on by El Mohammadi, and the effort in the 6-yard area was cleared away from goal rather than towards the goal for Aston Villa, and Crystal Palace will clear their lines. What a big chance that was, Michael Brown, to make it 2-0, and Villa will come again down the right hand side with John McGinn. El Mohammadi still up in the penalty area, wants it. McGinn sends it over his head. It's headed away by Crystal Palace. Forward again by Hourihane, will break to Trezeguet, who slots it through the legs of Guaita, and the flag stays down, and Trezeguet doubles Aston Villa's advantage. Aston Villa 2, Crystal Palace 0.
The pressure was on, as we mentioned, from Aston Villa, from the corner kick. It's in front of the goalkeeper, never come. They kept it right back on Crystal Palace's defence, and the ball finally just fell in the centre of the goal to Trezeguet. The goalkeeper's coming out, and he just sort of toe pokes it in between his legs. Cool finish to make it 2-0 for Aston Villa.
And again, Michael Brown, as Trezeguet slaps high fives with Tyrone Mings. You said it right there, it's the cool finish. When the ball breaks to him, he has the presence of mind to slot it home. 2 huge goals for Aston Villa, 2 huge goals for Trezeguet, who hadn't netted in the Premier League since the start of December. The touch just takes it away from the Palace defence, allows him to get the second touch to stroke the ball home, and they have that breathing space.
Yeah, they do. It was a straight ball, and Saka goes tight. El Mohammadi just manages to flick it over the left thigh of Saka, and there he was. Trezeguet just stood all on his own, done too far, the opposite side. Goalkeeper comes out, and you're looking for a flick, but the goalkeeper stands up and keeps his ground, and the only place he probably could have scored was through his legs, and he didn't disappoint.
Half an hour to play then, and Aston Villa lead Crystal Palace by 2-0. They are giving themselves hope. Crystal Palace with the ball in the centre circle, so we can head for an update at the cricket. Eleanor Oldroyd.
West Indies are creeping ever closer to that target of 200, and it is Jermaine Blackwood with 61 not out who is doing it for them at the moment. 134 for 4. Shane Dowrich looked like he was out. He was given out on the field. Another fearsome Jofra Archer bouncer, but on review it showed that it had hit his forearm rather than his bat or his gloves. So it is in the balance at the moment, but West Indies are the favourites, 134 for 4.
Thanks, Ellie. And Trezeguet on a hat-trick, just strode into the penalty area there for Aston Villa. Lovely through ball from Samatta, but in the end the shot was tame. But the confidence now that is flowing through Aston Villa. We spoke, Michael Brown, about the freedom that Crystal Palace can play with, given that they're safe in the table. But will we see now Aston Villa play with a little bit of that freedom, a little bit of that confidence, having gone 2-0 up here?
Well, they've got to play the game at their pace now, their tempo. When you take that 2-goal lead, see him just walking now, El Mohammadi, experienced player, slowing it down, getting a breather. They'll do this quite a bit, but then when they get the ball, when they get it moving, it's about keeping that tempo and keeping the pressure on. So you just mentioned there the ball from Samatta, fabulous ball for Trezeguet to get away, looking for his third. He was clipped slightly, and I thought he should have went down. But he was obviously off balance. He hit his shot into the goalkeeper, and it was wasted in the end. But that's the type of pressure that's still going now.
Aston Villa free kick sent forward quickly by Douglas Luiz to Hourihane, and now Grealish picks it up on the left hand side. Target is on the overlap. It's cleared away by Ward for Crystal Palace, and Aston Villa have a throw midway through the Crystal Palace half. Crystal Palace, who need to score 2 goals to get back on level terms. They are the second lowest scorers in the Premier League this season coming into this match round, and there aren't many stats you can draw on to give comfort to Aston Villa fans at the moment, given their recent form, but that perhaps is one of them. And here come Villa again. Hourihane, good save by Guaita, and it just spun away on the outside of the post. That could so easily have curled into the back of the net. Villa corner, they are pushing.
Right, it was a great ball in by Douglas Luiz. Just he was in that 10 position. He turned around Hourihane on the half turn, his left foot, as you know, he's got a wonderful strike. It was right on the outreach to the left hand side of Guaita. Great save in the end, because it was a wonderful strike.
So Aston Villa corner. Crystal Palace preparing to change things up. Andros Townsend is ready to come on, but Villa will take this set piece first. It's swung in, headed away on the edge of the 6-yard box by Crystal Palace, picked up by 2-goal Trezeguet for Aston Villa. And now Douglas Luiz sends it forward, looking for the runner McGinn on the edge of the penalty area, and the snapshot was scuffed and deflected by Grealish. Had to take it quickly. He was being closed down by white shirts and straight into the arms of Guaita, and Crystal Palace will try and build from the back. Here is Zaha, who's been very, very quiet in this second half. I think, in fact, that's the first time I've mentioned him, and we played 18 minutes. Here he is on the ball for the left-hand side for Crystal Palace, back to Van Aanholt. McCarthy is then challenged. Van Aanholt then goes down under the challenge of McGinn. Atkinson plays advantage. Zaha tried to play the crossfield pass, but it's intercepted by Horahan, and now Douglas Luiz will race over the halfway line, and Samatta is into the penalty area for Villa. Is this a third? Samatta down to the byline, pulls it back, claim of handball, big shout from Dean Smith to our right hand side. Martin Atkinson not interested, and Crystal Palace will clear away.
Well, you lose the ball there. Wilfried Zaha, he was trying to get the ball back, and I thought he was going to get sent off as he was just getting really, really tight to Douglas Luiz, but as he got Samatta, it was just too far away for him to be able to get a shot. But it was a great counter-attack from Aston Villa.
Yeah, but on a yellow card, Wilfried Zaha walking that tightrope as Villa pick up possession again. Right-hand side, El Mohammadi back to Trezeguet from Samatta, who tries to find his teammate again, headed out by Van Aanholt. Throw for Aston Villa midway through the Crystal Palace half, and Crystal Palace are going to make a double substitution. Kouyate is making way for Jairo Riedewald, and Andros Townsend will also enter the field for Jordan Ayew. Has to change things up, Roy Hodgson, because Villa certainly aren't sitting on this 2-0 lead.
He's got to, and we know the attacking player, the threat of Andros Townsend, he can be unplayable at times, so hopefully he can make an impact very, very quickly. He's made the double change, a bit more energy in the middle as he's starting to get tired, Kouyate. So can they get the reaction that Roy Hodgson needs?
And at the moment, it is Aston Villa in the ascendancy. Aston Villa leading 2-0 in this huge, huge game for their hope to stay in the Premier League. If it stays like this, they would move within 4 points of safety with 3 games to play. Yes, it's not in their own hands, but you think of that huge game on the final day in particular coming up against West Ham. They have given themselves a chance if it stays like this. Grealish into the penalty area, pulls it back to Douglas Luiz, edge of the D, takes the shot, it's deflected, well blocked by Milivojevic, and goes straight into the arms of Guaita. He rolls it out to McCarthy, back to Guaita. Now Sakho on the edge of the Crystal Palace penalty area again. Palace trying to play their way out from the back. They almost lose it. Milivojevic with a sliding challenge to win the ball back, and Grealish will pick it up for Aston Villa, leading 2-0 here on 5 Live. Lovely leave by Trezeguet will allow it to come to El Mohammadi, edge of the penalty area, right hand side, back to Grealish. Just stops and checks, and then he's shoved in the back by Milivojevic, and Milivojevic is not too happy with that decision, or perhaps not too happy with himself, because that is frustration from the Crystal Palace captain. And Aston Villa have another set piece, and Jack Grealish has another foul.
That's another foul. It was literally, he almost stamped on him there as well. He's thought about it, and you're thinking, he's underneath me, do I do it, do I not? He didn't, thankfully. He got a yellow card for the push on Grealish. Now again, a fantastic opportunity. It's what Aston Villa need now, certainly, to put this game, if they can get the 3rd goal out of sight for Crystal Palace.
Yes, midway through this second half, it is all going Aston Villa's way at the moment. Horahan and Grealish stand over this free kick. Right hand side. And they will swing it into the penalty area from Grealish, and Guaita came well and got a big palm on that. Will come out to McGinn though, edge of the box. McGinn twisting and turning, trying to play it back in. It's forced back. Cross comes in and claimed by Guaita on the edge of his 6-yard box. And he will just stop and check. But Crystal Palace need to get things moving quickly if they're to avoid making this 5 defeats in a row. They're in no danger of relegation thanks to their earlier run of form before lockdown, but not something that Roy Hodgson will be pleased to see as they look to close this season out. They've given the ball away again. That's sloppy from Palace. Konsa plays it forward, looking for Samatta. His touch lets him down though, and Van Aanholt will send it back to Guaita. But so many claret and blue shirts in the Crystal Palace half. They're pressing high, they're keeping their shape well. As Riedewald collects it on the halfway line for Crystal Palace, trailing Aston Villa by 2-0 on 5 Live. Zaha dispossessed well by El Mohammadi, And Douglas Luiz, who again has been everywhere in that midfield for Aston Villa today, will play it to McGinn, who goes down. Free kick Villa.
He's got to be careful, Wilfried Zaha here. It's just another foul. He loses the ball, quite comfortable. He's really, really frustrated that it's not working out for him. He's going to end up with a red card, and he's got to stop getting involved. But we're finally back to the drinks break. I'm sure Crystal Palace, what he's still arguing now, Vicky, look, down with the fourth official. He's not pleased, and he's really losing it at the moment, Wilfried Zaha.
Yes, Peter Banks, the fourth official, just easing him away, and Roy Hodgson is right there, and he's now having a little word with Wilfried Zaha. But you're spot on, Michael Brown. He is so riled up, Zaha, today. It hasn't been his day, particularly in the second half, and Andros Townsend now comes over and brings Zaha away to where the rest of the Crystal Palace players.
Vicky, it's amazing that, wasn't it? The manager, Roy Hodgson, is stood right next to them, doesn't even look, doesn't even say a word, leaves him to it, and it takes Andros Townsend to come out of the pack to come over and take Wilfried Zaha away from the situation.
Should Hodgson be intervening there then?
Well, you would expect it, but maybe I think they have a relationship with Roy Hodgson, knows how to get the best out of Wilfried Zaha, leaves him to it. And I think he has brought the best out of him, and he knows how to handle him. I understand why he's getting this frustrated, but he's just got to be careful, or the main threat that Crystal Palace have got will be leaving the field.
Well, that's it, isn't it, Michael? You say Hodgson knows how to handle him. Will he handle him on this occasion by taking him off? We shall see. 20 minutes to play. 20 minutes for Aston Villa to close out a precious victory that would give them real hope in their survival battle. They have a free kick midway inside their own half, right-hand side, and Pepe Reina will come forward to take it, and just hasn't been tested enough in this second half by Crystal Palace.
Not at all. And you look at the front three now, Townsend, Zaha and Benteke. Get them the ball. That's the thing though, but they've got to be progressive. They've got to try and get up the pitch a little bit quicker. Aston Villa are managing to get all the bodies in, get everybody and make it hard, so they can't do it. That's just too slow from Palace.
They're playing for their survival, Aston Villa, and they look like it this afternoon. On the ball with Hourihane, who almost lost out to Townsend, and wins the ball back, but it will go out for a Crystal Palace throw. And they win another one a few yards up the pitch over on that right-hand side in the sunshine. A reminder earlier, Wolves comfortable winners over Everton, 3-0. Stoke beat Birmingham 2-0 in the Championship. That really helps Stoke in their battle for the drop. And Leeds moving 6 points clear of the playoff places. A late goal at Swansea. They are almost there. Almost ending that 16 years without Premier League football. The ball switched over to the right-hand side. A throw for Aston Villa, and Al Mohammadi now will take his time over at Villa with the luxury of just slowing it down, leading by 2-0 as John McGinn spreads a crossfield ball over to the left-hand side. And what word should I use for that, Michael Brown?
Wasteful, for sure. Wasteful, with a good technician, good left foot that he's got. But they look much more composed at the moment. Aston Villa, they're taking the time. The second goal does change things. The first goal right on half-time was really the big blow. They'll have gone in, as you've said, Vicky, very, very pleased with themselves. And yes, the talking points being at VAR, and I'm sure if you're playing for Watford and you're watching this game, or you're playing for West Ham and that's not given, they'll have something to say about it, I'm sure.
Yes, that early VAR decision that didn't go Crystal Palace's way. Sakho's early goal ruled out very controversially for a handball. Although Villa had a VAR call of their own, not to go their way. Grealish winning a penalty which was then overturned. That one less controversial, but still a talking point. As Crystal Palace come forward, trailing by 2-0. McCarthy, bit of space now over on that right-hand side for Ward, plays it forward to Townsend outside the penalty area, ushered away well by Tyrone Mings, lays it off to Ward again though. Palace still keep coming forward, cleared away by Douglas Luiz, will be almost brought down by Milivojevic, and Samatta can't get on the end of it for Aston Villa. Dan will send it forward, intercepted by Trezeguet, whose brace has given Villa this lead. He's given it away though, and Van Aanholt swings the ball into the penalty area for Palace all the way through and cleared away by Targett. That's a brilliant ball forward, looking for Jack Grealish, who finds it down the left-hand side, racing towards the penalty area up against Ward. Grealish, is he shaping to shoot into the penalty area? He's driven wide to that right-hand side. Chance still alive for Aston Villa. Grealish pulls it back to John McGinn. The shot was scuffed and blocked, and it comes back out to Grealish. Swings it in, away off Riedewald, and a throw to Aston Villa, level with the edge of that Crystal Palace penalty area. Just to keep you up to date in the cricket, the West Indies needing 200 to win are 139 for 4. And Lewis Hamilton has won the Styrian Grand Prix. Valtteri Bottas second, and Max Verstappen third. Throw for Aston Villa on this near side as Dean Smith, hands in his pockets, watches on. And Al Mohammadi again just taking his time. Villa don't need to hurry, leading 2-0, but it's a good throw into the area. Douglas Luiz flicks it up, but the handball decision is given by Martin Atkinson, and it's one of those then that Luka Milivojevic wants to take very quickly, thumps it into an opponent, and Crystal Palace have to start again because they are making a substitution. And in fact it is Milivojevic who will have to stop his argument with referee Martin Atkinson, because he is being substituted for Max Meyer. And that frustration that has crept in at times for Crystal Palace, notably with Milivojevic and Wilfried Zaha, trailing as they are by 2-0. 16 minutes to play. 16 minutes for Aston Villa to close out this vital victory. Crystal Palace on the ball. Benteke challenged by Luiz, does well to get away from him, but the ball forward won't find a teammate, and it's nudged back to Reina by Mings, who sends it long, and it just bounces over Dean Smith's head and will be a Crystal Palace throw.
It's just not falling for Crystal Palace. Benteke doing, oh, brilliant.
This is falling for Crystal Palace. Van Aanholt into the penalty area. Brilliant save by Reina. That should have been a goal back for Palace, and Aston Villa will clear away. Well, he had so much space getting into the box, Patrick Van Aanholt, but Reina stood tall, narrowed the angle and saved with his foot, and now Villa can break down the other end. Grealish has Trezeguet ahead of him, will just slow the play down, leading by 2-0. And now we'll spread it infield to McGinn. Edge of the D, scuff shot straight into the arms of Guaita. That should have been 2-1.
Well, it should have been. I was just going to mention Reina's kick and clearance to give the ball away for Crystal Palace. They got in, brilliant turn. Wilfried Zaha, reverse pass into Van Aanholt. He gets right in front of Reina, but that's where his experience tells. He makes himself big. He's aware of the near post. He just blocks it with his right foot. Fantastic save.
And over in the corner, Benteke barges over Tyrone Mings, so it's a free kick to Aston Villa. 14 minutes to play, leading by 2-0 here on 5 Live, and it is tea at the cricket. Eleanor Oldroyd.
And it is 143 for 4. The West Indies, they need 200 to win, so just 57 more runs required. England were winning it at lunch. West Indies very much winning it at tea. 108 runs and just the 1 wicket in the session. And it's Jermaine Blackwood with 65 not out who is getting them there at the moment. Shane Dowrich is the other end on 15. They have batted so well, just kept the score ticking along all the time. So at tea, West Indies are on the brink of going 1-0 up in this series. They need another 57 runs when we resume in 20 minutes.
Thanks, Ellie. And when they do resume, that commentary will continue on 5 Live Sports Extras. Wilfried Zaha is brought down and again just stands up and he's just brim full of frustration. Very wisely moved himself away from John McGinn. Looked for a moment there that we might see a repeat, Michael Brown, of that head-to-head with Tyrone Mings in the first half, which could have ended up in a second yellow for Zaha.
I don't know what he wants. Yeah, it's brilliant skill. Wilfried Zaha was amazing there to watch. His below is on the ball yet again.
And he's on the ball again, swings the ball into the area, is looking for Riedewald, will come all the way through to Townsend, down to the byline, pulls it back, they're queuing up in the centre, and Christian Benteke heads behind. 2 big chances for Palace. Riedewald couldn't quite get his head on it, Benteke did, and misses the target.
Well, he couldn't. The ball goes right across the back from Wilfried Zaha, cutting on his right foot. And then it's Andros Townsend on the opposite side. There's that little bit of skill. He manages to, like a little sandwich ball, right into the middle of the goal, and the header just goes wide. Wasn't falling for Crystal Palace. But just going back to the Zaha one, we want to see that skill. We want to see that ability, agility, how he rode the tackle. But then he's fouled. No, accept it. I don't know what he wants from the referee. The referee give him the foul, but he wants more. It's a strange one. He's getting too frustrated.
Martin Atkinson tells Pepe Reina to hurry up with the goal kicks, but Villa have conceded possession from it. Crystal Palace with the ball midway in through the Aston Villa half, work it out to the right hand side, and Andros Townsend, who then goes down, little push from Target, and Aston Villa concede a free kick, leading by 2-0. 12 minutes plus added time to play. This would take them to within 4 points of safety, behind Watford, behind West Ham, who they have to play on the final day. What a match that could be. They are giving themselves a fighting chance, Aston Villa, but can Crystal Palace hit back? Can they make this a nervy end to the game here on 5 Live? It's swung into the penalty area by Van Aanholt, looking for Sacco, headed away by Mings. Dan will whip it back across, and it's all the way through the other side to Van Aanholt again, right hand side of the penalty area. Can't get the ball in, and Trezeguet on a hat-trick will pick it up for Aston Villa and just dodges the challenge, which is slid out of play by Townsend, and Aston Villa have a throw over on that far side.
No, not only is he scoring goals, it tells you something about, you know, your forward player going back, defending in a tight situation. All of the staff, all of his fellow peers below us are all clapping and encouraging what he's just done. Great tracking back, great work, and that's it. You know, you don't often see that from the front players. Great contribution so far in this game from him.
Aston Villa are going to make a double substitution as they look to close out this victory. Keenan Davis is going to come on for Ali Samatta, who had that big chance in the first half, hasn't been so involved in the second. And Conor Hourihane is going to be replaced by Marvelous Nakamba. Fresh legs needed as Aston Villa try and see this one out. Leading by 2-0, 10 minutes plus added time to play. And this is a huge 10 minutes in Aston Villa's season. Massive. Trezeguet will chase this ball over the top, forced wide to the right-hand side of the penalty area by Patrick Van Aanholt, infield to Grealish, still on the edge of the box, has 2 players with him there. Jack Grealish plays it off Sacco, and it will be a corner to Aston Villa.
As you just mentioned, you'd start to see a steady flow of substitutions now happening in this game. Just get it broke up. When Crystal Palace were on the ascendancy, creating opportunities, Aston Villa have reacted now with a corner kick and a couple of substitutions.
So Grealish is over this for Aston Villa. It's a low delivery. It was swung at by Trezeguet at the near post and will be cleared away by Crystal Palace, who can try and break. Townsend almost stopped by Nakamba, then almost stopped by Konsa, but neither of them can actually stop him. He lays it off to Zaha, left-hand side of the penalty area, goes down, and I think he was just eased off that there by Target. There was the half-hearted appeal for a penalty by Wilfried Zaha, but it was half-hearted at best, and Mings will clear away for Aston Villa.
I just think it was unfortunate. I think Target, as he was just getting ahead of him, Wilfried Zaha just fell over, and he had to actually jump over him, which didn't help him. We lost the ball.
Aston Villa in possession, brought forward by Davis, and now Nakamba back to Target on the halfway line. Forward again to Nakamba, trying to work it down the left-hand side, where Davis will collect in the corner flag position over on that far side as the sun just dips behind the clouds here at Villa Park. No clouds for Aston Villa if this scoreline stays like it is. 2-0 they lead Crystal Palace with 8.5 minutes plus added time to play. Remember, commentary of the North London derby coming up at 4:30 here on 5 Live. Bournemouth against Leicester later this evening as well. A feast of football for you this afternoon and evening. Crystal Palace in possession. Riedewald sends it out to the right-hand side, and Ward over the halfway line. But Aston Villa back in numbers. The shape is good. As Townsend spots the run of Van Aanholt, who has been so dangerous when he has been able to get forward, finding those pockets of space on the left-hand side, but this time he can't hold on to it, and that's a good header by Sacco on the halfway line, because Grealish just tried to dink it over him, and had he done so and run past him, Grealish would have been in down the right. Palace try and bring it forward. Louise challenges Meyer, and it will be a Crystal Palace free kick, 35 yards or so out, level with that left edge of the penalty area. And Van Aanholt in the pink boots just puts the ball down. Crystal Palace running out of time to get something from this game.
You just hear these calls, can't you? So clear. Hold the box, hold the line. Nobody gets in the centre of it.
Van Aanholt swings it in, it's poor, it's straight into the arms of Pepe Reina, and Aston Villa can eat up a few more vital seconds.
And just looking at that there, do you know when you say they keep the line right on the 18-yard box, the goalkeeper's got a bit of clearance, a bit of time to assess it rather than bodies right on top of him, especially when it's an in-swinging ball. So a really good line at a crucial time. It's brave to do that, when to actually all be in the same line. You need to all be on the same page.
He's played his part today, Pepe Reina, making a big save to keep the scoreline at 2-0. As Villa try and work something towards the Crystal Palace penalty area, but they can't do so. And Palace will come forward again. Here is Meyer in field to McCarthy, midway through his own half. 2-0 Aston Villa lead. Wilfried Zaha picks it up for Crystal Palace. In field to McCarthy, lovely ball out to the right hand side, and Townsend, he brings it down up against Trezeguet. Townsend's delivery is a good one. Mings is equal to it. Powerful header away from the Villa centre half. Riedewald will pick it up for Crystal Palace. He was being challenged by Keenan Davis. Martin Atkinson waves his hand and says get up. And Crystal Palace will come forward again. Van Aanholt forward to Zaha, left hand side of the penalty area, trying to trick his way past El Mohammadi. The final touch in the end does not come off a Villa player, and it will be a goal kick to Aston Villa, still leading 2-0, 6 minutes plus added time to play.
Good defending there, wasn't it? El Mohammadi, he's getting squared off one-on-one. Wilfried Zaha being able to go both ways. He stood his ground, managed to ricochet it off Zaha. Fantastic, obviously called upon late. I think it's a real good performance considering.
Yes, came in very late when Courtney Hawes pulled up in the warm-up. He's had a good game, El Mohammadi. As is that one on the ball there. Trezeguet slides it back to Tyrone Mings. Benteke will close down Reina, who will send it out to the right-hand side. Grealish will chest it forward, but won't find a teammate. And Van Aanholt takes the throw quickly for Crystal Palace. Sends it down the line. El Mohammadi is there for Villa. Forward to Grealish. Little nice turn. Flicks out of play off Riedewald just past Dean Smith. He still stands, hands in his pockets. His heart will be hammering though, Michael Brown.
It will. You can just see now with the 85 minutes played, it's taking the time, just even seeing a little smile from El Mohammadi with Jack Grealish. When that starts to happen, they feel like they're almost there.
Good strength from Davis to hold on to the ball for Aston Villa, and then John McGinn. He's fouled, and Villa have a free kick, and a little thumbs up there from El Mohammadi, Dean Smith and John Terry down there. Still giving instructions, still working out how best to see out this precious, precious win for Aston Villa. Ball into the area from target. Big claim for a penalty on the edge of the 6-yard box from Aston Villa. It was Davis and Grealish in there. They both missed it. Nothing given by Martin Atkinson, and it goes behind for a Crystal Palace goal kick.
Well, they wanted it, didn't they? There was shouts all around. It was a wonderful ball in from target. The left back strokes it right across with pace in between the 6-yard area and the penalty spot, and just Villa, two people just sliding, just couldn't get the ball. But what a wonderful ball.
Inches away from making it 3, but 2 will do, because it will get them the 3 points if they can hold out Aston Villa. 3.5 minutes plus added time to play. Van Aanholt for Crystal Palace, midway through the Villa half, left hand side, just checks as Grealish is there, and a little shrug and a spreading of the arms by Patrick Van Aanholt, saying where are the options. Crystal Palace go across to the right hand side to try and find those options. Townsend interchange of pass with Riedewald, stepping past Nakamba now. Townsend swings the ball into the area. Reina wasn't sure, didn't claim it. El Mohammadi gets something on it. Villa will try and clear it away through Grealish, and the touch comes off Zaha. Now Zaha is appealing for the throw, but that's the right decision from Martin Atkinson, and the throw will go Aston Villa's way. And another change for Dean Smith, and where Al Ghazi will come on for Trezeguet. 2 huge goals from the midfielder that could save Aston Villa's season, and has certainly given them real hope.
Well, big hope and huge goals. The talk in the build-up after yesterday's results were this is a must-win game. They've got to deliver 3 points, and it's heading in that direction now. And a little bit of fortune at times in this second half. They've controlled Crystal Palace better than you would have possibly expected after seeing the first half performance from Crystal Palace.
Mings clears the ball away. It will be a throw to Palace, deep in Villa territory. Yes, Villa, of course, have had that penalty reversed by VAR early on. Palace having that early goal ruled out in the first half very contentiously by VAR for handball. Do make sure you watch those on Match of the Day, particularly if you like to have an argument. BBC One at 10:30, and Villa fans, I'm sure you will be tuning in because you are closing in on 3 points. Crystal Palace with the ball down by the corner flag. Max Meyer has to backtrack and stop and check and then try and find Riedewald with a clever little through ball. Zaha now into the penalty area, will break to Meyer in the box, trying to find room for the shot, but that's well defended by McGinn and Douglas Luiz, and Villa will bring it away. And Grealish will send it long, looking for El Ghazi. Could this be the third for Aston Villa? No. Joel Ward, brilliant interception, just gets a foot in time in the penalty area, and it remains 2-0 to Aston Villa. Meyer sends it forward. Zaha will chase down this left-hand side. El Mohammadi. Zaha then slipped, and El Mohammadi will bring the ball away for Aston Villa.
There's another great bit of play. We've seen 2 crossfield passes of great quality. First there was a race with El Ghazi and Joel Ward. Joel Ward managed to defend it. He wasn't looking favourable. Then out to Wilfried Zaha and El Mohammadi, great defending. So that's what we need, a bit more urgency from Crystal Palace, because they're still playing in front of Villa too much in this game.
And they are running out of time. Crystal Palace, Van Aanholt plays it off McGinn, but we are into the final minutes plus added time. And Aston Villa still lead by 2-0. McCarthy sends it into the area. Benteke tries to trap it, fashions room for the shot, but curls it wide. Well, he did well to get the effort away there, Michael Brown, but it's behind for a Villa goal kick.
Well, he did, but you see the intensity now is too little, too late. They're creating opportunities because they're forcing it. They've got good players, but they've sat in the shade. Yes, they'd say they were slightly unfortunate in the first half, which was one move from Aston Villa at the back post to give Trezeguet the lead right on half-time, but since then, the urgency from Palace possibly hasn't been as good as you would have liked.
5 minutes of added time. 5 minutes Aston Villa are away from a monumental victory in this battle to avoid the drop. Crystal Palace have it at the back. Here is Sakho. You can understand perhaps with Palace relatively so little to play for. Yes, they're chasing down that record Premier League points tally, but when you start talking about record tallies, then you know that really you've done the job, whatever that job is. Can they make it a nervous stoppage time for Aston Villa, who have come under a little bit more pressure in these last few minutes as Zaha wins a free kick and Douglas Luiz goes into the book for Aston Villa. Good position.
Again, Wilfried Zaha, how he takes the ball on the on the half turn and pushes it out of his feet with great pace on it. No wonder he's fouled, and fabulous bit of skill. But what he was saying is finally Douglas Luiz could have got one earlier, a yellow card. He got one this occasion. But Palace must score now if they're going to get anything from this game.
And you have to say, he looks supremely unbothered, Douglas Luiz. Job done in terms of stopping Zaha. Now Villa must deal with the second attempt, and it's headed in and over by Christian Benteke. Again, another good delivery from Patrick Van Aanholt, and Benteke just gets underneath it and it's over the bar.
He does, but it's with the left foot, sort of an out-swinging ball with no real pace, no real tempo. Thought it could have been an in-swinger one. Really pushing it right in at the goal with great pace. Just probably sums it up with Crystal Palace. Almost there, but never really were. And, they're just going to take the time now, Aston Villa, to see this game away.
3 minutes of added time to play. Aston Villa are nearly there, leading Crystal Palace by 2-0. Palace on the ball. Here is Van Aanholt just inside the Crystal Palace half, just checks and tries to feed through a lovely ball to Meyer, and now space for Zaha. Left-hand side approaching the penalty area, well blocked by Douglas Luiz. Grealish will pick it up for Villa, back to McGinn, pressured by Zaha. And they've won it back, Crystal Palace. That's well worked by Zaha. Van Aanholt into the penalty area. The cross was blocked by Douglas Luiz, and Villa will clear their lines, leading by 2-0. Meyer goes tumbling for Palace. Villa will bring the ball away. John McGinn, right-hand side now to Jack Grealish. And he's racing away through the Crystal Palace half. Tried to exchange passes with Keenan Davis, and Palace win it back. But they're running out of time. Crystal Palace trailing Aston Villa by 2-0. Andros Townsend brings it forward, slides it through to Wilfried Zaha outside the penalty area. Tried to feed it through to Maya, and Pepe Reina quickly out of his 6-yard area and gathers the ball.
It's just not going to fall, is it, for Crystal Palace? You can see that now, and everybody, you see that huge relief from Aston Villa as Reina just takes the pass.
And Reina now sends it long over the halfway line, chested down by Keenan Davis, forward by John McGinn. Doesn't find Davis. I'm not sure McGinn was even really trying to. I think it was a case of get it out of our half, get it away from our goal. See this one out, 90 seconds to play. Dean Smith stands on the edge of his technical area. Crystal Palace pick it up just inside the Aston Villa half, and the high boot is penalised from Concert, and Palace will have a free kick. But time is running out, and he said, Smith, that he felt it would come down to these last 4 games. Crystal Palace today, Everton away then, Arsenal at home, West Ham away on the final day of the season. Villa have given themselves hope. They've had a tough run in, we know that. But now these 4 games are what will define their season. And they're getting off to the perfect start as Zaha outside the penalty area, plays it in, looking for Maya down to the byline, digs the ball back across, and Reina is underneath it. 40 seconds to play, and Pepe Reina will just slow things down.
I think, you know, if Aston Villa have that opportunity against West Ham on the final day, they'd take that right now, Vicky. That'll be something always.
A little bit of argy-bargy there from Grealish and McCarthy. Won't develop into anything nasty. It was just McCarthy coming in and almost accidentally went over Grealish with his arm, and then Grealish grabbed McCarthy, and so it is a free kick to Crystal Palace, and Van Aanholt and Sakho play it between them, and time is almost up. Aston Villa have done enough. Davis picks it up on the edge of the centre circle, can't hold on to it. And Ward will pick it up for Crystal Palace. Townsend now down the right-hand side. It would only be a consolation now, surely. Riedewald back to Townsend into the penalty area, trying to work room for the shot. Target gets a foot in, cleared away by Aston Villa, and Martin Atkinson blows the final whistle. What a huge result for Aston Villa that gives them real hope in their battle to stay in the Premier League. And Michael Brown, those players are out on their feet. They have given everything this afternoon.
Yeah, they have, and it'll all be about results. That's all Aston Villa needed, nothing else, not performance, just about getting 3 points. You're seeing what it means to people, and you know, the fighting in between players still below us, and really far too many. Pepe Reina is now coming in, trying to split it up, and hopefully that can be nullified. But Martin Atkinson's calling for players back over, so Benteke's holding his face, so very strange ending, Vicky.
Yeah, a little flashpoint there with Christian Benteke. Aston Villa have beaten Crystal Palace by 2-0, and there might be further action here from Martin Atkinson. Yeah, Pepe Reina came over, and it's a straight red card for Christian Benteke after the final whistle. Some afters there, and that sums up, Michael Brown, the frustration for Crystal Palace. Straight red card for the former Villa man, Christian Benteke.
Well, very strange ending to this game, and to end like that. But overall, the job was done for Aston Villa. They needed those points, or relegation would have been probably almost sealed, and they took the chances when needed. Slightly strange VAR decision early on, which would be disappointing for Crystal Palace, but well done to Aston Villa for keeping the race alive.
We said it was must-win, Steve, and they've won it. Full-time at Villa Park, Aston Villa 2, Crystal Palace 0.
Well, that's an early end to Christian Benteke's season. Aston Villa then 18th in the league, 30 points, Michael Brown. They are 4 from safety, and at last someone other than Jack Grealish has stuck their hand up.
Well, you're right, but he certainly played his part in the free kick building up to it, Steve. There wasn't much in that, but he was in and around it, yes, and Trezeguet, finally gets that finish. They get some goals at home, 2 of them, and you never thought it was going to come for them. They had opportunities early on, Samatta's header over the bar, and Jack Grealish at the back post straight into Guaita. but it was about results, is all it was, and they feared for the relegation, so they got it, and that was the most important thing.
So Villa's games remaining: Everton, Arsenal, West Ham. Watford have West Ham, Manchester City and Arsenal. West Ham have Watford, Manchester United and then Villa. Can you see it going to that final day?
I hope so. I do. Honestly, I hope so. I was just saying there to Vicky, Joe, Aston Villa in that position when you see the games and the results and you're almost looking up now in the Premier League. If they could get a go at West Ham on the final day, they'd take that right now. So hopefully we've got one hell of an ending for us, Steve.
Michael, Vicky, thank you very much. They desperately needed that victory. Aston Villa, all 3 points for them. 4 behind Watford in 18th, so they go above Bournemouth, who are 19th on 28 points. Of course, Bournemouth have got a game in hand, and it's tonight.